Hello, everybody, and welcome back once again to the Hidden Realms Dungeons & Dragons live stream game, Season 1, The God Heist. I am your humble game master, Joshua MacGregor, and with me are the cast, Mark Crozier.
As usual, playing Alice V and Haki Seer. Pleasure as always.
Nin.
I am playing Nezumi.
Antonio Kazar.
I am playing the Prince of Gorendia, Rhydon Athronus.
Morgan Hardy.
I'm playing Thano the Stupid, half-orc rogue.
James Wilson.
Tolton Spartek, your friendly artificer.
Neil Hara.
I'm playing What's It the Worthless, also known as today Princess What's It. What happens when you lose a bet?
Secretly, he likes it.
I like it a lot.
And joining us is our first very special guest, Ralf Whiteley.
Special guest,
Sup? Pleasure to be here.
the best hairdresser in the West.
I've been watching you guys for like the last 5 weeks. It's been amazing. It's been really gripping, and Josh doing an amazing job at keeping them all in bay. Do you know what I mean? They seem like a right bunch, you know.
That's on air.
Oh.
You see what he does to us off air.
Yes, we likes it. We likes it a lot.
Radical.
Well, it's a pleasure and a joy to have you on the show.
Definitely.
And we'll get to your character anon. First, we have some important shout outs to give. First of all, huge thank you for everybody for getting us to 100 subs so that we could get to see Neil looking
Thank you
as
very
beautiful
much.
as he does.
I wish it was the first time I've seen him in a dress.
Yeah, this is true. No, this is not the first time.
For any of you who are listening podcast style, Neil has painted his face green and is wearing a dress. In fact, you should just watch. You just go over to YouTube and
Can he stand up
Just
and give
catch
us
up
a
on it.
12, please?
No, outfit is not.
No. Let's put it this way: it's not viable for the watershed. What's off camera?
It's true. You see, when you have limited access and you're in lockdown to women's clothes, and your wife is a lot smaller than you are, so therefore you have to fashion attaching it to yourself. And it wouldn't be pretty if I turned around. It probably wouldn't stay on.
Some lovely images there.
Yeah,
Mm.
but that I can post pictures later.
Pictures incoming later on our social media.
Post watershed, of course.
Oh yes.
Naturally. Also, big thank you again. COVID-19 is still happening, so all of the
Certainly
frontline
is.
workers and all the people who are putting themselves out there in order to keep everything going. Hope that you are safe, and an enormous thank you to everybody out there who's doing that. Everybody, stay at home, save lives, all that good stuff.
Yeah, you're rad, man.
And also just a couple of things. One on the positive note. No, I'll do the other thing first of all. Just say that obviously there's a lot going on in America at the moment as well.
Definitely.
And as a group of people and as a show, we definitely very much support ethnic minority and the equality, for everyone in the moment, and especially the Black Lives Matter movement as a show and as a group of people. And it's not a pleasant time out there. We won't go too political, but we don't agree with a lot of the things that are going on. In fact, most of the things that are going on as a group of people, and we're sat here fuming as much as other people. If I wasn't personally on lockdown for personal reasons, I'd be on marches, and as I know plenty of us would be. So stay safe out there. And let's hope that this is the beginnings of something, some bigger changes that are needed.
Yeah.
It's
You're here.
Yeah.
Just a note on that. Don't let any kind of media muddy this view.
Yeah.
This is something that is happening,
Yeah.
regardless of people's opinions. Trying to sort of dilute it this really is happening. So
it's not a one-off. This is a pattern that repeats. Sadly, month after month, not year after year, not decade after decade. It is real and something that really needs a world voice to stand up.
Quite a lot of us have witnessed the some pretty horrific things that are race based. In my life, I know other people in this group have done the same as well. So this is definitely happening. Don't let right-wing media try and spin this to be something else. Oh, I went political.
Trying to refrain from going too political is why I've stayed quiet thus far.
And on the positive note, the other thing is as well, obviously we've hit 100 subscribers, so we will be picking a winner for our competition. For the people that have subscribed, we'll be picking that to be announced on Monday, because we'll go on, Antonio.
Lines close 12 p.m. tonight.
Yes.
So as you watch the stream, if you've got an idea, chuck it down, send this to us quick, because it's shutting tonight.
Yeah, shutting tonight, and then on Monday we'll announce that, and then you'll work with our very own godly figure of Joshua McGregor.
It's me. I'm
on your
godly.
screen.
Yeah, to build an NPC. That will be a ongoing NPC for our campaign.
I'm so excited for this. It's going to be great to take your amazing ideas and make it part of this world that I cooked up in a fever dream.
Hell yeah.
So yes, do that. Do it. Send it to us.
Do it.
Do it.
Hit that subscription banner. We've got
Definitely.
some competitions minds for 200 subscriptions as well. Some further freebies and giveaways and some ideas. I'll have to see what I come up with next. Something bigger than a dress, eh?
How are you going to top yourself, Neil?
Well, I don't want to top myself.
Maybe with no top.
Maybe I'll go topless. You never know.
Oh,
we'll see.
Incredible.
Open to suggestions.
So
I think my mum might appreciate that, actually. So if you can do that, that'd be fantastic.
What, me to go topless?
Yeah, next week. Brilliant.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. If we get 100 subscriptions, if we get another 100 subscriptions by next week, I will go topless.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he hasn't specified that he'll do it live on camera yet.
Yeah. It'll be special paid view.
onlyfans.com/hidden realms.
Yeah.
So to summarize it all up, thank you to everyone who's subscribed for helping us get to 100 subscribers. Competition winner will be picked within the next couple days. Thank you to all the frontline workers. Stay home, stay safe, and Black Lives Matter.
Yes. Nicely put, Mike.
Amazing. Thanks for summing that up so succinctly. Right, let's begin. Let's do a little recap. Last time, you guys were all in Vordel Car. The surgeon was
stop.
Was
Still hurts.
Don't, you'll make him cry again.
Still hurts,
man.
And slowly, as the session went on, Reniel Amakir and everybody else managed to share that information around, so everybody now is aware that the surgeon has gone. Reniel, you guys heard that there was some fighting in the lower levels, and then Brenial, this half-elf, one of the High Wardens of the Grey Orthodoxy, met with Alice Fane, and between the two of them managed to kill the guards who were following him, and then got Alice Fane out. And so Brenial bought time for them. Nezumi, Alice Fane, and Tolton got together. They got all their weapons and armor back, as well as a few other magic items, which they have yet to identify. Ran up, freed Thano, realized that Whatsit was alive, even though Thano saw him die. And they all ran up to the 3rd level, being chased from below by many members of the Grey Orthodoxy. There they fought and faced off against some members of that organization, were joined by Rhydon and the crew of a flying pirate ship. They fought, they were victorious, and managed to escape. Alistair had a magical battle with Erua, who was one of the exalted wardens and seemed to be made of ethereal light, and collapsed exhausted to the deck of the ship as the ship cloaked and got away. And that's where we are now. Everybody, you are in various states of injury, but you are on the deck of the ship, safe and sound, flying away from Ward Elkar into this is a continuity error on my part. I said that it was night when they escaped. It was, of course, the morning. So that's on me. But yes, so the sun is getting to be around 10 o'clock in the morning, and there you all are. Rhydon, you bring Alistair Armstrong, the captain of the ship, to his quarters. You can see that he is he's not only is he injured, and badly injured, he's more utterly exhausted than you've ever seen this man. You know him to be one of the strongest spellcasters that you've met. He is a sorcerer, the Storm Soul variety. It looks like he looks very close to dead. His face is ashen. You see that his magnetic black sand right hand, which he's usually able to maintain, has been falling as you go, until just the stump of his hand is left by the time you get him to a bunk.
Right. Oh dear. So I put him down. I'm instantly gonna cast Cure Wounds.
Yep. No need to do numbers and things. You guys are
okay. That's fine.
Safe. Yeah. So
just to give him a bit more juice. Okay. How you feeling?
Oh, I shouldn't have gotten into a fight with one of the exalted wardens. It's such a bad idea. Oh, but
two things. One,
yeah,
I personally really appreciate it. Two, you look like you're having fun.
Honestly, it's the best fight I've had in 15 years.
And then I go, sounds good, buddy. And then I slap him across the face like a pat, and then I walk back onto the deck. I say, see you in a bit, and I close the door.
He's asleep before you even close the door. He's out. Brilliant. You guys who are up top, you can see there. The people who are up here are Dust, who is this tabaxi wearing these gauntlets and boots, and an Volpacarian elf woman with these chains wrapped around her arms and a pair of blades that the chains strap to her arms like arm guards. These two are up here. The elven woman is at the helm as Rhydon makes it back up.
Sygalians.
Oh.
Can I have a moment, please?
Is that me?
I mean, you are from Sygalia, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, can I have a moment, please, if you wouldn't mind?
All right. Who are you?
I am Crown Prince of Gorendia, Rhydon of Thronus, and you are?
What's it worthless?
A pleasure to meet you, what's it?
It is definitely a pleasure for you.
I believe so. Fantastic. Like I said, if everybody could come over here, just so we can have a quick chat.
Right.
Barring anybody's refusal, you guys all gather around.
Have we had a chance to have a long rest yet?
Not yet.
Not yet.
This is
Then
immediately afterwards.
Alcine just remains lying
cold.
down. Yeah, he's in the same position he was, as I had said after last time, which was he basically dismissed the fact that the surgeon was killed and just sort of threw himself back and put his arms behind his head and just is sleeping on the deck.
Is he showing signs of lots of wounds?
I mean, yeah, there's probably, a mixture of self-inflicted and otherwise. Yeah, he's going to be pretty bloodied up.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Right, okay.
I'm going to stand near the group. Oh, sorry.
That's okay. I was going to say, go on.
No, it's okay, go on.
Mr. Crown Prince, can I suggest that, you give us a bit of time? We, unless there's anything a bit pressing. We lost someone in the group. It's his fault, but he did lose somebody. And a bit tired.
How did he die?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Does anybody know how he died?
I was flicking noses.
Apparently, he slit his own throat, according to what one of the guards said.
Yeah, it's like it was his own fault. It was a stupid thing to do, isn't it?
Interesting.
But I find it hard to believe that he would do that of his own accord.
Yeah, it sounds bizarre. Okay, I'll tell you what then. Everyone go have a rest, and we'll talk. Well, not tomorrow, but when you all wake up.
Give us an hour or something.
However long you need.
Yeah. Can I take Thano off to the kind of sort of off to the side, away from the earshot for the people? I say, Thano.
Yes.
Bit strange times, really, isn't it?
It is a bit weird.
Yeah, a bit weird. Bit of a weird group as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure about all of them yet.
No, normally that Lucifen, I can't quite work him out.
I'm not sure about him at all.
Yeah, I don't dislike him. I just can't work him out. He does weird stuff.
He does, doesn't he?
He does. He touches me sometimes.
Does it?
Yeah.
I hope he hasn't done nothing untoward.
Well, that'll be all right if it was untoward. But he does weird stuff. I'll keep an eye on it. I can't quite work him out.
I'll keep an eye on him as well, I think.
All right. You all right though?
Yeah, I'm just a bit blown away, you got murdered in front of me and you're lying.
I didn't get murdered. What are you talking about? You're being silly.
No.
No one kills me. We've got a mission. We've got a mission to do, haven't we? Like
we have.
To basically take over this entire place with like hordes of orcs.
Right, hopefully.
Yeah.
Right, shall we go and see what they want to talk about then?
All right, let's do that then.
Right, while Alice Fane's laying on the deck, I'm going to wander over to him. I'm just going to see if he stirs as I approach. Does Alice Fane wake up or move or do anything else, or is he completely?
As you, when being that we're on a ship deck, footsteps are fairly loud. So I hear you coming. I don't really move. I just open one eye and just look.
You've only got one eye.
Well, yes, the one eye that I have. Yes.
It's no good opening the other one. You won't see anything.
It won't open. It's just I open my left eye and look at you.
You open your eye and it's dark. Oh,
yeah, well, that's strange.
Okay, I'm just going to look down. I'm going to go, you're looking a little bit worse for wear. Would you like some help with that?
I am feeling wonderful.
Are you sure you wouldn't like some help with that?
I merely need just a couple hours to rest.
Well, it's not a problem. It's up to you. It doesn't hurt, does it?
It hurts beautifully.
Oh, this will hurt too.
Sorry?
It will hurt too, but it will help at the same time.
It will hurt?
A little bit, yeah. If you want it to.
He sort of sits up at this point. To what end does it hurt?
how much would you like it to hurt?
Well, that really depends. Who is benefiting? Is it just me?
Mm-hmm.
It's not often that I take on pain to benefit just myself. Usually it's to, I hurt others to benefit myself, or hurt myself to benefit others.
I can make it so that it doesn't hurt, or I can make it...
Oh, no. Don't get too hasty.
It's not a problem if you would like it.
Very well, you have my attention.
Okay. All right, lay back down.
Lay down.
Okay. I'm going to pull out what looked like a handful of tools to you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I'm literally going to, with my other hand, I pull out a handful of what looks like scrap bits and pieces, and I start tinkering with them. And then I lay it on your chest, and this spider rises up on your chest and proceeds to start knitting and closing your wounds. But it's like having stitches done and everything else like that, and say cauterizing wounds with zero anesthetic.
Okay, yeah.
So it's knitting your wounds back together, it's stitching things up, it's burning wounds closed and stuff like that so that you stop bleeding, but there's zero anesthetic.
The reaction he's basically giving is almost as though he was getting a massage.
Okay. But I thought you might appreciate that, because it's clearly obvious you like a little bit of the pain.
Well, it's how long does it sort of last?
I don't know, 5-10 minutes. Depends how wounded you are, doesn't it? I'll roll some dice if you want for the healing properties of it.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, okay. It does, basically, it heals you for 10 points of damage. So, shall we say 10 minutes?
Yeah, so he pretty much just sits mostly silent for the 10 minutes, just sort of giving those reactions as if he was getting a massage. And when it's finished, he just sort of sits up and, well, that wasn't as disappointing as I thought it might be. But perhaps you may want to work on increasing the intensity.
I can do that if you want.
Wonderful. And he just lays back down and goes into
right,
an
the
elven
bots,
trance.
there would have been a couple of small, robotic bots that would have been running all across your body. They literally, as soon as they finish their job, they just fall off and they fall upside down and then just fall into little bits. Okay, right. Yeah. And then I'm going to walk off and go and see what this high and mighty prince wants.
Yeah, so Alistair just lies back and goes back into elven trance.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys going to do a short or long rest before talking? Or are you guys gonna...
I'm planning on doing a long rest.
All right, what do
we do the talk first, or you want the long rest? Or the long rest first?
I relay to everybody to go and rest first. You don't have to, but you'd be waiting for.
Yeah. It seems like a good idea.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
I'll do a long rest, but I'll spend about about a couple of hours talking to Grumsh because it's been a couple of days.
Yes. So, you guys, I'll go for a long rest. Dust, this tabaxi comes up to you guys and he says, of course, if you guys, if you wish for bunks, we have hammocks, places to sleep that are not the middle of the deck of the ship, if you wish.
Yeah.
Like some people.
What's it say? What time's breakfast?
Breakfast would, when you are up, we can have a late breakfast.
Yeah.
It will be mid-afternoon, but we can do that.
I'll have bacon, eggs, and some cheese.
He's going to make a choice. And he goes, yes, that will happen.
Good. He'll shake his hand and try and attempt to give him a gold coin.
Give him a gold coin? No, he takes the coin.
Don't forget it's Sygalian.
Yeah, it's a Sygalian. It's actually got it's a Gorendian gold coin. It's got right on Sister Reagan's head on one side. He looks at the coin and he goes, I can honestly say I have not seen something like this in a very, very long time.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Plenty more of that where they came from.
I don't need this though. If you want to keep it and
No, don't be embarrassed. It's fine. I've got plenty more where that came from.
If you say so, and he tucks it into a pouch. He nods to you. You can try to talk to Grumsh. He can't hear you.
What's it doesn't know that?
Go ahead. What would you like to say to Grumsh?
It just be like, right, so Grumsh. Right, it's a bit weird over here. There's some weird people, but you know, I found that other god you wanted us to find. I almost got him out single-handedly, but you know, there's only so much an half-orc can do. But give me time, we'll get him out. I might need the help of the others. I'm just kidding. And but yeah, it's all a bit here. But I'll be ready to send over the army to take over this place at some point. So yeah. Oh well. Good night.
You go, and just as you are getting comfortable to get to sleep, a voice booms in your brain and goes, "What's that? Are you there?"
Ah, yeah, he is. Hey, you boss.
Why can't I hear him?
Boss, I'm here, boss. Boss.
You hear another voice. You hear another voice that goes, "Boss, I think probably there's a problem on his end. The connection's not very good." He goes, "I don't care about no connection. I want to talk to my man."
Boss, I'm here. Tap once for yes, tap two for no. No.
Maybe if we, if you think.
I've got it. I've got it. I'll fire what? Oh, boss, I'll fire a cantrip for once for yes, and a cantrip twice for no. And he might get that, except drawing his power.
Yeah, the little conversation you can hear keeps going. It doesn't sound like they've. Did you cast the cantrips?
Yeah.
Oh, you can. What are you casting?
Mending.
You're casting mending. Yeah. Maybe if we found a way to boost the signal. Hey, I can hear. I can feel him. He's using my power. He's using. It's great. He sounds like he's mending something.
and then I'll cast guidance on myself.
Hey, I'm guiding him. I'm guiding him, El Neval. I'm guiding him.
And I'll sort of go to sleep knowing he's there, and and kind of sort of even just hearing his voice has just made me feel sort of happy, and I'll go to bed purring.
Nice. Yeah, if you don't take off the ring, then periodically throughout the night you will hear the voice of Grumsh.
I won't take off the ring. And every time he speaks to me, I'll cast a cantrip.
Cool. After a couple of times, you hear, "Oh, he can hear me because every time I talk, he does a thing." El Neville goes, all right, boss. We'll come up with it. We'll come up with a system, and we'll get back to him when I've come up with a system. He goes, all right. We'll leave him alone for now.
That's awesome. Awesome. That's wicked.
Does anybody else have anything that they would like to do before the end of their long rest, or that?
Yeah, I would like to start tinkering with my crossbow if that's possible. Seeing with this ball that I'd still not used from when looking at that first initially, to see if I can some way reverse engineer it, see how it works, see how the mechanisms are and everything else, to see if I can replicate it at some point in the future.
Absolutely. Give me an Arcana check, please.
Okay. Arcana of 18 plus 7, so 25.
Jesus. As a first session, it takes you. This is going to take your downtime for this long rest, but you are able to work out what the mechanism is and how it works. You can see that there is a pressurized activation that allows it to, when it is thrown, hit somebody, and obviously there are the two sides where you click them and it'll wrap around yourself. This is made of a very firm metal. You recognize versions of this are adamantine.
Would it be on a timer with regards to the throwing of it to make it work? Okay.
No, it's pressurized.
Right. Okay.
But you are able to reverse engineer.
Right, so I
how
would
this
be
works.
writing down sketches, plans, and things like that to add to the notes that I've already looking at making.
Yeah.
So it's like there's a list, obviously, that I'm now working out. You know, the list would be figuring out how this works and then reverse engineering it so that I can make my own, and then tailoring my hand crossbow so that I could maybe put them into it to shoot them at some point. And then the third bit on the list would be making some way of like a clip, an ammo clip of bolts for a hand crossbow.
Alrighty, we are going to crossbow. We're gonna get to that, but for this first bit,
definitely. That's what I mean. It's a list. It's a list.
While Tolton's doing that, I would like to go over and speak to him. Tolton, I see what you do with that crossbow. You lent me yours. Can you do the same on mine?
Where?
I hold my crossbow up to it.
It's like shoving it in my nose. Look.
Yeah.
Do it to this one.
Come on, make it work like yours.
Like a child.
Yeah, come on. Yours went bang bang. Mine just goes bang.
Well, it's something I'm working on.
Okay.
It's an engineering ability that I can do to mine. I'm looking at maybe changing them in some way in the future, so that instead of it being exactly the same as mine, I will make like a pouch, if you like, that goes on the side of your hand crossbow, so that you load it with your bolts, so that it will fire them one after the other until that ammo pouch is empty.
So I wouldn't have to get them out and put them in
one at a time. No.
Oh, that's.
It would hold maybe 5 or 6 at a time or something like that.
What, you can do that now then?
Not yet. I'm working on it.
Oh.
But I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
If you're willing to test it, as soon as I can do it, I'll make the changes of the adaptations to yours.
Oh, what, you let me fire it first? Oh, that sounds good.
Well, that's something I'm definitely looking at. There is something else I'm interested in as well.
Yeah.
You see, now that I'm using this as opposed to using my melee weapon, my lance, unless I really have to, I need to check and see what this javelin does as well.
Okay.
I need to find out how that works, because I know it's magical, but I don't know what it does. But that frees up. You know how my crossbow works? I can do other things similar to that. They're called infusions, because I manufacture.
What, like a tea?
No, that's well, sort of, but it does something different.
Right.
I can make your armor more powerful.
What, smell like raspberries?
No, more powerful, so it works better.
Yeah.
Or I could enhance a weapon to make it work better.
What, you'll make mine like what's it then?
What, your weapon?
My armor.
No.
You said you'll make it better.
I can make it better. It won't look like frying pans, no.
Oh, okay.
But it'll work better if you would like it to.
Yeah, I'll go for that.
Okay, all right. Well, leave your armor here.
Okay.
And I will adapt it.
I start getting undressed. Taking my armor off.
You start walking around flexing. Okay. And the rest of my downtime, I will be. Well, it only takes a few minutes anyway, but I will infuse his armor to make it +1 for the time being.
Great. Yeah, so that's one of your infusions at the moment.
Yeah, that's 2. The other one's on the crossbow.
And the other one's on the crossbow.
Nice one. Oh. Is there anything you can do with swords?
Oh, funny you should say that. Hang on a second. And I start rummaging around with the bits and pieces that we'd found and armor and stuff like that. And I go, well, I found this short sword.
Oh, yeah?
It's not something I would use. You're welcome to it. I know it's magical. I don't know what it does yet, though. I was going to find out what it
Watsit's good
does.
at that. He could tell me what it does.
Well, if you want to get him to come here, he could do this. And while he's doing it, as I'm, giving it to you, if you wouldn't mind, we could maybe find out what this javelin I found does as well, if that's possible.
I think he'd do that for you. Oi, what's it? What's it?
Shall we say that you guys pick this up after the long rest is done?
Yes.
I think he's asleep. We'll come back.
Brilliant. The only other bit before we move on is Thano, when you go to sleep, you have a dream where you replay what happened with Watsit and Henua in front of your cell. You
very sad.
Go ahead and make me a perception check as as this dream replays what you saw.
11.
11. All right. The dream, when you do wake up, you remember that there are a couple of things that were different about the dream than your actual memory. You remember that, you still remember like Henua sitting there and just staring you down as Watsit is tortured, and you remember the spear stab through. You remember holding Watsit's hand after they've gone. In your dream, Henua has flowing silver hair. You know that she's bald. Just a couple like weird little things are distorted from the dream. She's looking at you, and her eyes flicker silver. And yeah, that's it. That's just a little replaying of what that dream was. Everybody wakes up in sort of the mid-afternoon, kind of 3-4 o'clock. Everybody's got their long rest.
Before the long rest finishes, because I only need the 4 hours of the Elven Trance.
Yep.
Where do Watsit and Thano sleep? Where do they go to sleep?
The first bunk that I would have come to.
First bunk.
What about Thano?
I'd be with Watsit.
There are double bunks for sure in these little cabins.
Okay, then after I've had my 4 hours, my Elven Trance, I get up, have a stretch, have a look around, and I head to where the bunks are. And who all is in with the bunk sleeping?
I just said I would have been in one of the bunks at some point.
So there are 4 bunks per cabin, and you can see this is a large ship. There's a lot of room here, so there are plenty of
okay.
bunks.
So there's 4 bunks per room.
Yeah.
So who's in the same room as Watsit and Thano?
Probably just us, I guess.
Yeah, there are enough rooms that people could be either doubled up or just on their own.
Okay.
We're so big and smelly. We want rooms ourselves.
Is there any windows or like little slots or anything that you can like see into and out of from like the hallway or whatever into these cabins?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Well, I'll open the door then and sort of peer in through the door. I just sort of wait a moment to make sure that the two of them are actually asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Brunch.
And once I'm confident that they're both sleeping, I sort of still staying as much out in the hall as I can, just sort of putting my hand in through the door a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I like use my my nail to like cut the end of one of my fingers. And who's on the top bunk and who's in the bottom bunk?
I'll be on the top bunk.
You'll be on the top bunk.
Yeah.
Okay, then I use blood puppet on whoever's on the bottom bunk, and because they're unconscious, it's an automatic fail. And I just have him get up, and assuming it's Stano at the bottom, I just have him get up and punch Watson, make an attack and punch Watson in the face. I then break it and walk away.
Oh!
Stano and
Watson.
Whoops.
I will, however, stand out in the corridor just listening, because I know none of them have seen me use blood puppet thus far. The only person that's seen me, the only person that's seen me use it was Brenniel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you know if it's been cast on you though?
Nope.
No. Okay.
And it's an automatic fail if the target's unconscious.
Yeah. Do your damage. That what it's if it's a punch.
Yeah.
So that's it'd be 2 damage then.
That's
2 damage.
Yeah.
Even on that 20.
Nat 20. I just can't believe it, innit? Nat 20 on that.
Oh, it's not tons of damage. He's mainly listening to see what the reaction is.
Both of you wake up. Thano, you are standing. You have just punched Watson in the face. Watson, Thano's just punched you in the face.
Ow! I look and I go.
I'm sorry, Watson.
I love you too,
I had a dream you died again.
Yeah, I know. You're just checking I'm alive. I do.
Yeah, can I have a cuddle?
You can have a cuddle. Have a what's it cuddle. And here you go.
I get in the top bunk.
Yeah, we'll spoon.
Okay, well, I won't have seen you get into the top bunk, but I'll have heard the interaction. And he just sort of, okay. And he just walks back out to the deck, and in the remaining 4 hours between then everyone else waking up, I have a short rest, which will then restore my blood puppet.
Yeah. That was a good punch.
Oh, you know, gotta make you feel it.
Yeah, it's alright.
Do you want to punch me?
Yeah.
Go on then.
I'll punch him for 1 point of damage.
No, roll it though. Roll it.
Ryadon, have you done any resting or?
Yeah, I would have done a long rest. I would have taken my armor off, then done a long rest, then put my armor back on.
I laugh so hard I fall out of bed.
And as he's falling out of bed, I'll push him a bit further.
It's chaos in
Sharing the same room. We're all sharing the same room, aren't we?
No.
It's just these two in the one room.
Alician's just walking away, just thinking to himself, I'm supposed to save our world with these lot?
We're not all like that, just want to point that out.
Do you want me to sing you back to sleep, Dano?
Yeah, could you?
Yeah, no problem.
Oh.
La.
No, I like the song that gets on the nerves.
Oh yeah, that one. That's a good one. It's a good catch.
And we cut away.
Yeah.
I think that was the good choice.
There we go. That's it was the gag that just kept on giving.
It is.
Yeah, but to who? Who does it keep giving to?
Precisely. Goodness me. All right. Okay. You guys finished whatever that was, the long rest, which became a weird spooning, pushing out of bed fight. orcs, man.
And they got a roll to see whether we woke them up. We might have ruined their long sleep.
Everybody gets up. If you'd like to have been disturbed by what's in it, that
really?
for flavor, that would work. But you have all the benefits of a long rest. Brilliant. As you convene up top deck, Dust goes over to Rhydon, takes you aside, and just says, obviously the crew are waiting for Alistair to awaken. He's not up yet. Do you want any of us to be? Do you want me to be part of your meeting with the Sygalians, or would you?
I think it's probably a good shout. I think it'd be a good shout to get your input as well.
Amazing.
It just makes sense.
I will let the others know. He's back. Right.
That still amazes me.
Oh yes, it's a lost technique for extreme speed. And in any case, and everybody gathered together.
Right.
Says, right. Yes, Rhydon, take it away.
Right. So, my first question is, how did you all get captured?
They did some magic-y stuff and all appeared, and then I almost killed them all because they captured Thano.
It wasn't like that.
And
we
Thano,
were fighting back. He surrendered and dropped his weapon when he saw that they had captured his friend.
No, that's wrong. So when I found that they hadn't hurt Thano, it seemed the wisest thing to do at that point. If they'd have hurt Thano, then that would have been a whole different ball game. I'd have killed all of them.
So,
I got caught. They threw this ball at me, and then I got covered in all these bits of metal.
I'm going to hold it up and go one of these.
I couldn't move.
One of these.
Yeah, one of those.
Don't give it to me. I'll end up doing something weird with this myself.
Probably.
Just get this straight. First of all, good move getting captured. You probably learned a bit more about our enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the intention.
Well, very clever of you. I'm nodding.
Thanks, Princey.
You can just call me Rhydon.
Okay, Princey.
I'm gonna whisper in what's ear and go. He likes it when you call him Princess.
Yeah, no. All right, Princey.
Well, it wouldn't be your ear; it'd probably be your waist, because I'm only little. Oi, Mister.
So, everyone, the next plan of action, I'm guessing, will be to get Pelor back.
Yeah.
So we have to find a way of getting him back.
Yes. Before we discuss going forward with this plan, there is something in place. Potentially, we need to know if Balmoral is compromised. Did anybody say anything to your captors, to the Grey Orthodoxy, about being sheltered? Did anybody say anything about where we were headed?
I didn't.
I didn't actually know, so I didn't remember.
Probably a good thing, all of you, that you did not divulge this information to what's
It's crucial that we contain and gather as many allies as possibly possible. So if they are compromised, it's probably a good idea to go get them.
Grumsh is behind us.
Where?
Not literally behind us.
But by the sound of it, they aren't, so would it not be better to leave them where they are? Save bring suspicion to them?
I agreed, but if their position has been compromised, if nobody's saying they have divulged the information, then we will leave them to it in the assumption that they haven't been compromised and we can press on to more pressing matters.
I mean, as far as I'm aware, the closest that we got to exposing them was when the Greenskin made a dagger using his divine magic.
Yeah.
That was what upset the Faceless Hunter in the first place. Perhaps that was too close, but if you don't think that that's going to compromise them, because that was outside of the orphanage, if you think that is fine, then they should be fine.
I hope the orphanage is alright. I like them. They'll be alright, won't they?
Yeah, that Caleb was lovely.
Yeah.
Is it not worth going back to see?
Caleb is a very special child.
He is. So I made sure they were all going to be okay. I gave them all daggers.
Well,
you,
Sophia must love you.
Yes, of course.
Did you get my dagger back, by the way?
No, Willow's saying that you're full of nonsense.
Huh. Okay.
She was quite offended, actually.
Well.
She wasn't very polite about you.
She liked my bedtime story, though.
My word, my friend, should just mean my word. Take my word as
I asked, but she would have none of it.
Well, obviously she didn't remember or misplaced it.
Regardless, if a battle took place anywhere near Balmoral, Sophia would have taken the children and gone to ground.
It did. Our conflict happened.
We got a call from her, which is how we knew that you'd been captured, and turned around.
Did she not say anything to you there then?
It would be. She did not know whether they'd been. She said that they were going to hide out in case any of you gave away anything about them when we know more.
Surely that information like this can be intercepted by the Grey Orthodoxy.
Information like what, sorry?
If you've been receiving messages then and the capabilities of what they are producing, surely that they could put two and two together.
Not on this ship. Unless somebody said something, communication from this ship and to this ship are concealed from the magics of the Grey Orthodoxy. It's one of the things that Esme Rose has built into this beautiful ship. By the way, everybody, welcome to the Alacrity. It's the name of the ship.
Very nice.
Lackey.
Welcome to
Lackey.
Yeah. We'll do introductions with the rest of the crew. Anon.
The ship's name, was that named because of what the word means?
Yes.
What's the word mean?
Which word?
Alacrity. Yeah, that's it.
It's to do with movement and speed and briskness.
It's brisk and cheerful readiness.
I don't know that.
While we're here, I'm going to throw the armor over at Thano and go, you'll find that probably feels a little bit more.
Oh, thank you. I go over and give him a big, or bend down and give him a big hug. And then I go, oh, what's it?
Yeah.
Tolton had a couple of things he wanted to show you.
And
he was going to give me a sword.
I pull out this short sword and I hold it up in two hands like that. And I go, okay. I still haven't found out what it does yet. But it is yours if you would like it.
It's a short sword.
It is.
or a broadsword to you.
How observant of you.
All right, and I'll cast Identify on it.
You cast Identify. I'm actually just going to rattle off what the items are that you guys got.
Yeah.
And what their magical abilities are.
How many items? So I know how many spells.
There was two short swords. We'll do them as a ritual, mate, because then it don't cost you anything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So as the conversation goes on, you'll be able to ritual cast this over and over.
It's all that good looks, mate. You got to lose it somewhere.
I've lost it.
We had a javelin, a shield, and two short swords, I believe.
That is correct. The short swords are short swords of green flame blade.
Nice.
They act sort of as an eldritch knight casting green flame blade when you hit.
Yep.
The javelin is a lightning javelin.
Very nice.
I'm quite good with javelins and spears.
Is that a sole hint? Would you like it?
Yeah. It's not as good as this one I made.
I'll tell you what.
What?
Leave this spear with me, and I'll see if I can make it look a little bit more like your one.
Oh. It won't look exactly the same.
No.
Will I add my name on it like this one?
I can put your name on it if you want.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn around to whoever was part of the crew that was in there, and I'm going to say, is there any chance I can have some of your spare cutlery, please?
The person you're going to want to talk to, she'll be down in the engine room. Will be Esme Rose. She's the gnomish lady that you might have seen on your way up.
Definitely.
I know. I'll go. If you want cutlery, and I'll pull out a bag of cutlery.
Okay. All right. In that case, what I'll do is, while they're faffing around doing their other stuff, if it's all right with you, I'll take that back off to wherever they've got equipment and using my own tools and stuff, and I'll attach these bits and pieces on and try and scribe in the finest writing. What's it?
I'm guessing no one else wanted it.
I would have been the only other person that would have used it.
All right, that's all right then.
But I'll make you a deal.
Go on.
You look after me, and I'll continue to look after you and your friends.
All right. You can become one of the what's it.
Just looks at Rhydon and just raises an eyebrow, like, this is the name that you're gonna let these guys give your group?
The what's it.
What's it all about?
Yeah, I like that. No.
That sounds like you should see a healer.
What's it? What's it all about?
Names are names. Let's just get on with this.
All right.
So, look, I'd like to know a little bit more about you all, just what you can do, just so we can come to some form of plan going forward if we're sticking together as a group. I know of the capabilities, as you all know as well now, what Grey Orthodoxy are capable of. So it should be common knowledge to all of us what each of us does.
Dust nods, says, if we are going to work together to free Pelor as part of the agreement that Rhydon has made with our crew, it's going to be important that you all work together as a unit, and you all know what each other does, and become as strong as you can in the meantime.
I need to go back to where we were then.
You need to go back to where you were?
Yeah, where the orphanage is. There is something there that belongs to me that I need.
Hans, the elf at the helm, Hans is taking us to Balmoral. We're going to check in and see what everybody is.
Good.
If there's something you need there, that'll be the time to grab it. I am going to check on Alistair and see if he can join us. And Dust is going to rush off for a second. The other two magical items that you have are the shield. The shield is a shield of shielding. If you can store a second level spell slot in the shield, and then expend that magic as a reaction to cast the shield spell. Once you have done that, it is no longer magical, and just acts like a normal shield until you pump another second level spell into it.
Is it always magical though? Is it a +1 shield?
It is not a +1 shield.
No. I've got an item. Does anyone else want it?
Yes.
All right.
Isn't that the one that you've got, Mark?
Yeah, I have the shield.
Oh,
okay.
In that case, it's fine.
So yes, there's a shield of shielding, and then the eye patch that Nezumi got is an eye patch that gives advantage on perception checks, and when you wear it, you are immune to magic that reads your thoughts or determines that you are lying, and only allows telepathic communication that you specifically allow.
That sounds cool and all, but doesn't it seem a little counterproductive that an eye patch, increases perception?
Irony.
Well, if you do not
irony.
want the eye patch, I know somebody who can utilize an eye patch perfectly.
I could make you an eye to go in that socket.
I give Alicefian the eye patch because I'm not gonna use it.
Thank you, very kind of you. And I slip it over my head, and I fix the eye patch in place. I leave my previous that strip of cloth that I have over my eye. I leave it there, but I just put the eye patch over it, so it's like double layered.
I hesitate before giving it to you though, so I'm like, okay.
Nezumi, would you like one of the short swords? I reckon you could use one of them.
Look at my size. Do you think I can hold one of those?
Magical, they shrink. Whoop, to your size.
Who's got them? You've got one, haven't you? Thanos got one. Who else had one? Mark. I picked Alice Fane.
All right.
I think I'd rather keep things that can keep me at a distance.
All right.
So we'll leave it for a second. Does everybody divulge what class they are, what abilities they have, or?
I'll tell Rhydon. I'll say, Princey, I make people die and I make people live, and I am the bearer of Grumpsh's light.
I hold out my hand. Excellent to meet you.
Pleased to meet you.
What's it?
Yeah.
And I just keep him alive.
Yeah.
I'm very appreciative of the orcs. So glad to have you on board.
No problem. Grump sent me.
That's all I tell him. I don't tell him no more.
Yeah. Grump sent us. So you're lucky.
I just look at you and smile. I work my around. So you help, you heal. What's it? I'm guessing then. That's.
I know. I just make sure he doesn't get into too much trouble.
Yeah. That's right.
So there's the what's it way, which is going slashing, or the Thano way, which is
doing it a bit sneaky.
No, just let's try and keep people alive and not make too much damage.
But interestingly, we're going to add a Rhydon way, which is going to go in and talk to people first.
That's weird way that is.
Oh well,
that never work.
Are we all in the same room while this is going on?
Yeah, you're all together. Yeah.
While I'm messing around with this spear at the moment, I'm just going to look up and go, that didn't work with them when we tried the talking knife.
Nor did it with us, but it's worked with me in the past.
I don't like it at the moment. I don't trust them. I've got very little time for most of them. I will give them the benefit of the doubt when we first meet them, but the minute they do anything, I will do my best to remove them from existence.
Who are we referring to?
The people here. Not necessarily the people on this ship, but the people on this place.
There is a fair few who probably seek to destroy us, but then again, they're not educated in the same ways we are. We still have a lot to understand.
They had the opportunity to be civil. They chose not to use it or take it.
I fully agree.
They will get one opportunity, and after that, if they don't go with that opportunity, then that's their loss.
And what do you do?
I make things.
A crafter?
In a manner of speaking.
Interesting.
As they're all talking, Josh, I cast message to What's It, and say to What's It, I'm not sure who we can trust here. That Tolton seems all right. He's been nice to us. That mouse just bolts at the first thing anything happens. I'm not really sure what to do about her. Then that other one keeps hurting himself.
Weird.
I don't know why he does it. He just keeps I don't know. Just was bleeding.
I agree. I think what we got to do is trust them because, Grumsh wouldn't have sent us here if it wasn't for a reason. And remember, because this is in my head, not out loud. We're here to, take over the entire place and stick our flag in. Remember, that's what Grumsh told us to do.
All right. Well, let's just keep in the background and see what they do.
Yeah.
And then I will look at Alice Fane and go, and you, I stopped you from dying. Hope you don't mind. I'm a bit unsure from the way you talk and the way you act. If that was probably the good thing to do, if that was to do with your culture, I'm unsure.
While he's talking, Alice Finn is just sort of looking over the bits that he got. So the eye, he's sort of like checking the fit of the eye patch, looking over the sword, looking over the shield. Doesn't really look at Rhydon, and after looking at the shield, he looks at Tolton. Does Tolton have it? Is Tolton carrying a shield?
He's got a shield. He's not using it, but he's got a shield.
He's got a shield. Alice Finn turns to you and says, perhaps you can make better use of this than I can, even if you don't utilize a shield very often. Perhaps it would help you in an emergency. I'm afraid protecting myself too much is rather counterproductive for me. And he hands you the shield.
Thank you very much. Well, as you saw before, I'm more than happy to assist and stop you from dying. That's no problem. And even make it painful in the process.
Much appreciated. Consider this a mutual appreciation.
Thank you very much.
And he then turns to Rhydon and says, moi?
I say you just answered my question, but I'd like to learn a little bit more about you if you wouldn't mind.
Well, let's see how to put this. I am feeling much better now that I'm out of the cage.
Okay.
I'm sure we all feel better when we're not in a cage. And limping, one arm over Dust's shoulder, comes Captain Alistair Armstrong of the Alacrity. He kind of hobbles over and he goes, just so that everyone's aware, he has had a full rest and now he is only on 4 levels of exhaustion. He cobbles over and he goes, all right. So, you all met each other. You're all from Sygalia, are you? Well, it's a bit of good luck for both of us that we ran into each other then, isn't it? Because you see, you all could do with my ship, could do with my crew, and I could do with a group with abilities like yours. So, we're gonna talk business. But first, have you come up with a plan for what you're gonna do next? Is it freeing Pelor?
I thought Pelor was freed.
Pelor?
Yeah, we freed Pelor. He got out, didn't he?
Yeah, I did
behind
it.
The ship goes. I like they look at each other and go. Alistair goes. I'm sorry to say this, Rhydon, but your god is still very much trapped on Ward Elkar.
I storm up to where the deck is with the where you steer the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just going to go up there.
You go up there. Hands is up there. This woman doesn't talk very much, but she's at the helm. She just looks at you and says, "Are you all right?"
Do you have a map?
I have a map.
Can I borrow it?
Hands you a map of Volpikar.
Okay, I'm going to go down on the deck and just I'm going to copy it.
Yep. You go ahead. You're copying the map. Alistair says to the rest of you, "He's like, alrighty. So, I have a plan for getting Pelor out of prison. It involves incredible danger, treacherous environments. We're all most likely going to get the absolute bejesus kicked out of us. On the way, it's going to be insane. It's an insane suicide mission to get an item of extreme power to free Pelor. Are you all in?
As long as we go back to where we were first. Like I said, I need to get something from there, and then I'm more than happy.
Gotta pick up my sister.
As long as it means that we get to beat the living daylights out of that stupid woman that runs that place.
Right. You'll be wanting Henua.
Yes, I do.
Well, there'll be plenty of time for her after we've done this.
I want her too. She killed What's-It in front of me, and then lied about
What's it.
I didn't. No, he's not. I'm not gonna die. I didn't die.
I smacked my fist down, going, "You did! She killed you in front of me."
It might have been some of that head magic.
You say head magic. Alistair grabs Thanos' chin, puts his eyes.
He's gonna kiss you. Watch it.
Puts his. You see his eyes, like the blue of his eyes becomes like electric blue, and then like extends outwards, so there's no longer any whites or pupils. It's just this
totally dilated,
totally blue, and he looks at you, and this light goes into his eyes. He goes, "You say they used head magic on you, did they?"
I think so.
Looks at you and goes, "Nothing I can see anymore. Whatever it was must have been temporary."
What happened to your eyes? You went all funny.
Oh, that's when I let out the storm.
Oh, what? I thought there was a smell.
That's the smell of lightning, boy.
Hey!
Right, I'm gonna call someone. I've got a good friend of mine who's exactly the person we need. We're going to go, if all of you have a map of Volpigar, we're going to go and find the lost army of Darafel. We're gonna break Darafel's curse, grab something called an orb of Gamath, and we're gonna use that to free Pelor. Right. He gets out
Can I ask a small question?
Of course you can.
How'd you find an army that's lost?
That's what we're going to get my friend for.
Alright. Will they change their name afterwards because they won't be lost?
They will have a different name afterwards.
Alright.
We'll give them we're going to name the Found Army of Darafel.
Okay, that's right.
He takes out the stone. And Ralph, you hear the voice of your good friend and once mentor, Alistair Armstrong, in your head, and as he goes, "Right, Gustav, my boy, I got a job for you if you're interested."
Bloody hell! Right. I can't stop thinking about SpongeBob SquarePants, mate. Do you know what I mean?
My voice is not at all derivative.
Yeah, is that you? Is that you, Alistair? I can hear you. What you want?
Well, you know how you've been looking for those guys, Garazan and his army?
Goddamn Garazan. What about him?
Well, I got myself a crew here, a team that I think can beat him. You need your strike team? I got it.
Yeah, we've been short of men for a long time since money's been cut to the army. Any support will do amazingly.
Amazing. I will meet you in Scars. You still stationed in Skarsgård, are you?
Absolutely. We've been holding the city tight for a long time now.
Well, I'm proud of you, boy. Proud of you for doing your job. Proud of you for not dying like the others.
Thanks, Anderson. When do you expect to be in town?
Oh, give me a day to go Balmoral, and then we'll meet up with you. Give us 2 days, and we'll be there.
Fantastic. How's the leg?
The leg? Well, I've actually got both my legs. One leg is just a bit injured on one side and got back to the war. Emotionally, I'm fine. My speed is reduced to like 25 or something, but but emotionally I'm fine.
I hope you get better soon.
Well, thanks. How about you? How's the wife?
She's fine. She's not dead.
Well, that's good. Right.
Well.
I'll see you in a couple days. Get your men ready.
Thanks. Bye now.
Goodbye.
Bye.
And we're gonna have a little break there.
Thanks, man.
So everybody come back around 8:30. Give us 8-10 minutes for a little break.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
Brilliant.
Don't go anywhere. We will be back shortly.
I'll be back.
We'll be back. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Thanks for hanging in with us over the break. But we are going to continue where we left off with everybody on the ship with the Alacrity, getting ready for the next stage of their adventures. So, Gustav, you've just received this call from the Captain Alistair. Alistair puts down the sending stone and says to all of you, goes, right, well, we'll be getting to Balmoral by nightfall. We'll go in and we'll see what's going on. In the meantime, why don't I introduce you all to my crew? And he introduces you to everybody on the ship. So obviously there is Dust. There is Hans, who's the Vulcarian elf with the coal black skin and white flecks. There is Esme Rose, who is the gnomish woman who seems to be. You can tell Tolton. She seems to be an artificer, but she doesn't seem to have any combat-oriented ability. She literally just works on the ship.
Okay.
And she that's her thing. In a corner, you kind of see this bundle of rags, and then it moves, and you're like, oh God, what is that? It's an old gnomish man who just who sits there with a stick and just goes, I don't know how these people. Man, what you doing? And Alistair goes, Benji! These folks are from Sygalia. I don't know Sygalia. I don't know what that is. There are many people on my ship. It's like, they're only going to be on for a while, and they're going to help us get what we want. And he goes, well, as long as they don't do nothing bad to my ship, I don't care.
All right, while he's sitting there, then, if it's all right with you, I'm going to wander over and just have a little chat with him, see if he's got any stories to share. Find out a little bit. Obviously, he's a travel person if he's been on this ship for a while, just to get a lay of the land, see if he understands and describes any of these runes that I've been making notes of, that sort of thing. I just want to get a lay of the land, what's where, why, how, and all that sort of thing.
Cool. Yeah, he kind of sees you and he goes, you Esme Rose's boyfriend? Her boyfriend? You bring home a man?
Would you like me to be?
I don't know that I like your tone, Sonny. Esme, get your man under control. Esme Rose comes over and goes, I'm sorry for my dad. You're not going to get anything useful out of him.
That's right. I'll go and I'll say to her, okay, so be it. Would you be willing to spare a few moments of your time?
For sure. What do you want to know? And she is more than happy to go over blueprints.
Okay, yeah,
and stuff
that's
with you.
just and if she's an artificer as well, then I'd see where her skills lie, see if there's any sort of crossovers, anything that I can gain from it. I'm more than happy to share anything that I know with her as well.
Great. It's nice. It's like the first time in maybe ever that you've just had another artificer who's just excited about technology the same way you are.
As opposed to get out my guild.
Yeah, exactly. So you guys start spending time. She is more than happy. She shows you schematics for this ship. It's this incredible feat of technology. She's got reflector plates on the bottom that allow it to, you can basically see that her version of being an artificer is that she has made this ship into all of her abilities relate to the reparation and enhancement of this vessel, essentially.
Fantastic. Excellent. All right. Well, we don't want to geek out the others sitting there talking about engineering feats and that sort of thing.
The rest of you go back up to the deck, and there's one more person. And Alistair calls up to the crow's nest and goes, "Hey, you, Serene, do you want to come out?" There's this little anybody who wants to make me a perception check.
That one.
17.
Tanner, you're somewhere else.
He's sitting there playing with his armor going, look at this, and his sword that goes like lightsaber.
I'm picking my nose and watching the flames on the sword.
As long as you're not burning the bogies, it's all right. Although it is green.
Along the sword.
15 for me.
15. What's it? You just and Tolton, you just see a ruffling of black material up on the crow's nest.
It's not the surgeon, is it?
Alistair goes, "Oh no, it's not the surgeon up there. No, that's a more reclusive member of our company. We let her be in the crow's nest whenever she wants to be. When she's feeling a little less shy, maybe she'll come down. Alrighty. Well, does anybody have anything else before you make it to Balmoral?
No.
You guys make it to Balmoral. Night is beginning to fall. Forgive me, I want to switch out the music a little bit. Everything seems to be fine. The ship is cloaked, and you are those of you who want to go down are let down on ropes, so that the ship never actually has to dock or be seen. This is a stealthy thing. I'm going to have to ask anybody who's going down there to make me a group stealth check.
Natural 20.
Oh, jeez.
14.
Are we all doing it, are we? Oh. 9.
If I'm adding my stealth, it's 27.
20, 14, 9.
That's 7 with disadvantage.
7.
12.
Yeah, mine was a 9 with disadvantage.
8 with disadvantage.
8.
Guess all of us are in full plate.
Not just half plate, but yeah, close enough.
Yeah. You guys make your way down. It's, everything is boarded up kind of the way that you saw it when you first arrived that night when you dashed away from the Faceless Hunter. The one guy on the wall turns, sees you guys, sees that Dust is down there with you. Alistair is not. He's he's a little bit too weak. But sorry, Jim.
No, I wasn't. I was replying something.
I realized this as soon as it came out of my mouth. Yeah, so Dust is with you. He sees Dust. He just goes and turns back to his post. You can see the Moral Arms. This building is dead quiet. Dust looks around, looks at the front of the building, goes, in case they have rigged it with some kind of magic, we shouldn't go in there. But if it's empty,
I can get rid of that.
you can get rid of any alarms and things.
I can get rid of magic.
If you could do that, that would be great. That would be very useful.
I'll have a look round. I'll say, Nazumi.
Yes?
I'm reckoning you might be quite good at like checking if there's any traps on the door.
I suppose I could try and find out.
Would you take and have a look for me? And then if there is any magic, I'll make it go boom boom. And make it go.
Should I roll perception?
Yes. And you have
19.
you also have advantage when it comes to smelling, I believe, as a rat, right? 19.
Do you want me to roll for advantage, or I feel like 19?
19 is pretty good.
Yeah.
You don't see any magical traps or alarms or anything like that. You smell decay.
Something smells not right here.
I'm just gonna kick the door in.
Kick the door in.
Yeah.
Bam.
No delay in everything I'm doing. I'm just kicking the door in.
I like this man.
You guys go in. Dust. It's dark in here. You see Dust. His entire body starts to glow, and sheds a light within 30 feet.
Okay.
Whereby you guys could.
I got dark vision as well.
As do I.
I just realized I wasn't. I just realized I was muted on the stream there. Yeah. So superior dark vision. I believe that's 120 feet.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a human.
He's a human, and Dust will be working with Rhydons, which is why he's
When you said that you can, something smelled odd. What do you mean?
Like decay?
Divine sense undead.
Divine sense undead. You can sense undead.
I draw my sword.
You draw your sword. Dust gets his fists ready.
Yeah. I go in behind my shield. I'm just stepping in a room.
Yeah, I come up to your side.
Alice Fane, before everybody else does, at the far end of the room, you can see 3 figures standing up against the wall. But as you look closer, you can see that these figures are not standing. They have been nailed to the wall. And as you get closer with the light, you can see 3 figures, 2 of them Furbolg, 1 of them human, and with the and all of you recognize who these people are. You can see Sophia Armstrong, Karen.
It was the young elf, wasn't it, or young Furbolg?
Karen was the young Furbolg, and her brother Elbows have been nailed to this wall. Their blood is seeped down the wall. And
am I picking up undead from them?
You're picking up undead from them, and you see these bodies, and then you see the Furbolg on either side twitch. And you can see that they have become undead as per the curse of Darafel. And the one in the middle, Sophia, does not move, but just above her, half in the wall, half out of the wall, is a shadow.
I'm gonna let out a scream in utter anger. Still like the strongest emotion anyone would have seen. Is really, really freaking annoyed. And I'm just gonna turn undead.
Turn undead. Does that destroy?
Not at this stage yet, I don't think. Hang on a sec.
Oh, I think it makes it frightened, and then...
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on the level.
It's not. Yeah, it depends on their level.
Yeah, they've got to spend all their moving away from you.
Yeah.
You will have Destroy Undead feat at this point, but it depends on their CR.
And their levels, yeah.
These are quite low level undead. The zombies flinch away at your scream, but they can't move. They are nailed to this wall.
At that point, I'm going to pull out my crossbow and I'm
They
just
have
going
to They have to make a Wisdom saving throw, DC 15.
If they can't move, we can literally walk up to them.
Yeah.
You
Mark,
can.
this is all your fault.
Sorry, I have no idea what you mean.
One of them
How never
fails,
do I?
one of them succeeds, and then the shadow succeeds on its wisdom saving throw as well.
So, what was the challenge? You say one of them fails.
Only one fails. Yes.
Yeah. That one's just. What's the challenge rating? Because it might be destroyed.
Oh, I think for a regular zombie, it's like a
Maybe
challenge
it's
rating of
destroyed.
half.
If it's a regular zombie, it's destroyed.
Yeah, it's a regular zombie. It's just
Are there any
the
other
undead life leaves?
Are there any other corpses on the ground?
There are no more corpses in here.
Can I just
those three?
Put a bolt through both of these other two's heads?
You put a bolt. So Karen was destroyed. You put a bolt through Elbow's head, and then this dust steps forward, and this shadow moves closer to dust. And as he does, the light dims around him, and he just says, "Oh, Sophia, you deserve better than this." And he just reaches out a hand, and the light becomes brilliant. And when the light fades, the shadow is gone.
I just want to lean forward and say, we need to take these down, and we need to give them a proper burial.
Yeah, we do.
I go and I search the rest of the area.
Are you quite sure that is what we must do?
I'm gonna destroy one of the walls. You're gonna absolutely pummel one of the walls.
So I know that one of the undead was destroyed, and with the destroy undead, I believe that if an undead fails, that they're literally turned to dust.
Yeah.
So the two that were remaining, who are the bodies that are remaining? Those two.
The young teenage male for Bolg and Sophia.
And Sophia. I'll head to over to the young teenage male Furbolg. I'll sort of look him over, and I'll turn to the rest of the group and I'll say, I believe that one there, and I'll point to Sophia's body. I'll say, was of some greater significance, so you can take her and give her the burial that you feel she needs. And I then once again look the Furbolg in front of me up and down, and I take out my cat o' nine tails, and I just cut the palm of my hand.
Yep.
And I then just put a hand. I let the blood drip down to sort of cover my full hand, and sort of rub my hand together to sort of cover the entire palm of my hand. I then make a bloody handprint on the side of the Furbolg's head. And I cast Animate Dead.
Dust is there in a blink of an eye, grabs your hand as you're in the middle of casting Animate Dead. And with a flash, he's turned the corpse into dust, into ashes. And he
I'm
looks
sorry,
at you.
Rog, do we have a problem?
If you want to mistreat our dead, we have a problem, Alusvain.
He has a point, Alusvain.
No one's mistreating anything. They're
Alusvain's
dead.
gonna get killed.
They are merely dead. They have... But their death does not have to be in vain. They can still serve a purpose.
Alusvain, their cultures are completely and utterly different.
And what of it?
Hey, I normally would agree with you, Alice Fane, but we knew these people. They like this.
Did
people.
we? We were merely sent here, mostly against our own will.
Yeah. I don't
Okay.
care.
They are strangers. You talk about how you want to bring the rest of the orcs here to invade, to
never
conquer
said
this
that.
land.
I've never said that out loud to you.
Oh, have you not?
No.
Oh, okay. My apologies. I
definitely not
thought
said
that was
out loud
something
to
you
you.
said out loud.
No. I've not said that out loud.
My apologies. Then I would.
No, that's right.
Scratch that. Well, yeah, we were sent here mostly against our own will.
Wow,
They
it was
are-
not against my own will.
Well, they are nothing to us.
Okay, Dust is going to punch you. He gets a 25 to hit.
Mhm.
And
Woo!
he's going to deal 21 points of damage with his first hit.
Ooh.
Kill him.
Hearing all this noise, I walk in because I've been hanging outside, kind of keeping an eye on everything. But I'm hearing the commotion now.
Hello.
You see everything that's going on.
Fight.
Dust is standing over you as you fall into the ground. And he just says, keep talking and I will kill you.
Can I just step in the way a minute?
Do
Just
it.
hold my hand up and I go, well, hang on a minute. Your faith and beliefs and traditions are slightly different to ours. He meant no offense.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
Just like ours are different. Remember, we're from different people. We're different people from different worlds. He meant no offense.
What's
You
it?
don't-
Yeah.
Do you want to come help me bury these dead?
Yeah.
I pick up some of the dead and I start walking outside.
Yeah, collect
By the way-
Come on, Thano.
Necromantic
All right, then.
skills are not necessarily outlawed where we're from. The same as certain heritages and traditions and rituals and beliefs.
I don't care about that. I care that he. You look at everybody who looks at Dust. You see that Dust is. It is difficult to miss before. You see that Dust is old. You see that this man is not just like Alistair. Alistair's like in his 50s. This guy's old. And you see all of the years of war are written on his face. You don't even need it in sight. And he just says, I knew Sophia from the day she was born.
I fully understand that. I do. Trust me. But he wouldn't have known any of this stuff, would he? As I say, he meant no ill, no offense.
Just
That was not what it was for.
get what you need and get back on the ship. We're going to bury these dead and then we're going to...
I
get-
completely agree. That's why I suggested it.
He's listening to you. He's obviously still pissed off. Yeah. Brilliant. So you guys take the dead. Take the dead. And Dust joins you and he says, there's a spot in the woods where we bury our dead. If with any luck, that's where the others will be.
I can do a ceremony.
Whatever you can do.
Yeah.
Don't mind helping if you'd like to.
Yeah. I could do a ceremony. And
He says to Tolton, he says, did you have to, what was it you needed to get before we go to the woods?
I need to see if my friend is here. And I'm going to head off towards the, it was a blacksmith's, wasn't it, where we were? So I'm going to head off towards the blacksmith's and see if that's still there.
Bessie is exactly where she was before.
She was covered in sand.
Covered in sand and rock.
All right, I'm going to start digging her out and getting all that sort of stuff off and cleaning her up and everything else and see if I can get her fired back up.
You may expend spell slots to try to get her back up. And once you've pumped around, once you've pumped a second level spell slot into her, let's say, the gears very slowly whir back to life.
Excellent.
And Bessie makes all the appearances of
now she's gonna die. That elf is dead.
Bessie whirs appreciatively.
Excellent. So I'm going to put my bits and pieces, my gear back on Bessie and everything else. Jump on the saddle, and I'm going to ride over to the others.
You guys make your way out into the woods. The guard at the gate nods to you guys and lets you out.
I'm going to attempt the level 1 spell. I don't have it learnt, but I'm going to try and go through the motions anyway, because I'm surprised it's not actually a ritual spell anyway, but that's a ceremony. It's a level 1 spell.
So ceremony.
So, and actually do funeral rites.
I will help you with doing it.
Yeah.
Two gods on the go.
Yeah.
It
seems like something that you should be done as a ritual. But I will. The first thing I do is I'll grab 75 gold's worth of silver, and in a pile, and I'll begin. I'll get out some of my blacksmithing tools and my mini anvil, and everything I've got, and as part of the ritual will be smelting down, crumbling. Yeah, and a help. And I'll take as many people to help. This is the first time that he would have actually encouraged people to sort of join him in that kind of sort of almost like family environment type thing, and get people to do to crumble this silver to make as part of because the part of the ritual requires silver. And so you crumble this down, you'll get people together, trying to get as much people sort of talk about it, reminiscing, even though we only knew them. He feels a particular affiliation because of their age and their innocence, seeing a parody in himself. That'll be what you're kind of getting the impression with him personally. But you'll do the funeral rites for all of them, but we'll call upon Grumsh to accept.
You guys all
just
get
sat next to him, helping breaking it up, just going grunt.
If anybody else that does want to join in, I'll be going through showing him while he's doing the ritual, because he'll need to focus on that. I'll show everybody else how to do, the smelting side of things and everything else if they want to get involved and help.
You all start to do this.
I'll even say to Alacrity, you want to help too?
He looks at you, and he just says, apparently my input is not wanted.
That's not true. Your input, not making them zombies is what they want. That's not your input. Your input elsewhere is wanted. I want your help here. You're a smarter man than me, Alacrity.
Oh, that's about the most.
You're not as handsome or as strong, or as good at Arthur, but you're a smarter man than me.
Oh, that's about the only true thing you've said in the last 30 seconds.
I've not lied at all.
He just walks off in the other direction.
All right.
As he's walking off, I cast Mage Hand and kind of flick it like, go on then, go away.
And I'll do this ritual, but I will, as part of the funeral rite and funeral rites, I'll actually claim their souls on the behalf of Grumsh.
Give me a second.
Yeah.
I'm going to do. There are a couple things that are going to happen. As you guys start to do this ritual together, you've reached a particular point in the woods. Dust makes a particular call, and coming down from one of the trees, and then a second, and then a third, are the orphans. And once they're all gathered, there are 17 of these little boys and girls of various races. Willow follows them up, and Willow and Dust just embrace.
I'll give them all a big what's it hug.
Give them all a big what's it hug. Caleb comes over to
Little
Nesame.
babies.
Caleb comes over to Nesame and holds your hand. Everyone knows what's happened. Has been hiding in the woods, away from the Grey Orthodoxy, and then from above, floating down, are Alistair and the members of the Alacrity, who also come and join in this ritual. Everybody's standing around. Alice Fane's walked off. Cast, ceremony, and attempt to claim their souls for...
I will guide them, claim them. It'll be guiding them and say, look, I don't know if you've got somewhere where you're going to go, but I highly recommend, like, the bar at, with Grumpsh's is a great place to go. The beer's cheap. They're free, really. And it's safe there. And Grump should give you a big hug and a big fist bump from me.
Equally, while this is all going on, I'm going to hold my symbol of Pelor, and just think in my head, say, you don't have to go there if you don't want to. Pelor will accept you.
Hey, you don't need to go to there.
But at the same time, I'm leaving it because I feel it's disrespectful for ceremony to be interrupted. So it's all in my head.
Yeah. If Radden claiming it, it's guiding, so if they want to.
It's a guiding thing. Alistair steps forward, and he says, well, little sis, I thought we were going to get more time, I thought we were going to see the world healed together. Because that's what we were always... That was... I get you have to go. I wish you hadn't left me alone. We all do.
I'm going to walk over to him while he's doing this and I would say put an arm around his shoulder, but I'm not that big. Put an arm around his waist and go, you're not alone. And revenge will be taken.
Revenge. Look at this face.
Because it's deserved. Don't look at that face.
No, look at this face.
He looks at both of you and nods and just takes his space.
You've my word. I'm going to revenge this.
He nods.
Before anything else.
While we're here, just as a curiosity thing, you know what I did for the orphan with regards to the image?
Yeah.
Can I do the same thing for him? Of his sister, because we did see her. She would be in my mind. I would know what she looks like.
Theoretically, you can.
Okay. All right. I'm going to just trundle off, sit down, pull out my tinker tools and some bits and pieces, and for want of a better expression, like a little wind-up toy almost, something like that. It'll be a bit rudimentary, but I'm going to start tinkering.
Esme Rose puts a hand on your shoulder and just says, after, I'm sure he'll appreciate it. Just let him finish.
Mhm.
Let him finish. Then Alistair is over the graves, and he just says, Zir Karen, Zir Bel, and Sophia, may your steps be guided to the garden paths of Ismera, to the green world, and to the hall, the white palace of the gods. And I'll meet you there. Meet you there in good time. That's it. I'm done. The souls pass on to a place that neither Rhydon nor What's It know about. And
Faith, that's what it is. The faith. That's it.
It's the faith. And he goes, all right. We better go. Gustav's waiting for us. We got a world to save.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
Everybody can make their way up to the ship.
I'll as we leave as well, and I'll say to all the orphans, so who wants a knife?
Oh,
Such a daft idea, is it?
As
Stop
you
giving
say,
up the knives.
as you say that, hold on. As you say, who wants a knife? Every single one of the orphans pulls out a knife. And Willow says to you with a little chuckle, she goes, when push came to shove, Sophia gave them knives.
Yeah, see, not such a daft idea. It's not stupid all the time.
As we're walking towards the ship, I'm not looking at her. I go, Willow,
Yeah.
don't you have something of mine?
She sighs. She takes out your +1 mastercrafted dagger and hands it to you.
Thank you. And I hand it back to her and I say, if I turn into one of those things, don't hesitate. And I give it back to her.
She takes it. She looks surprised, and she just nods.
I without any recollection, I just continue walking.
Oh, you just keep going. She stares after you for a moment with the dagger and then follows after you. Yeah. So, Alisfane, do you return to the ship as well?
Sneaky, 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 sneaky.
I just realized I forgot to unmute my mic for the stream again. So yeah, I don't immediately head back to the ship. When I wander off, when I wandered off, were they at like what is essentially the graveyard for this time?
Yeah.
Basically. Okay. Then what I'll do is I just sort of wander off, take a little bit of a walk around the village for a bit, and when basically I'm looking to try and work my way around to like essentially coming into the graveyard from like the opposite end, if that makes sense, if that's possible. Like trying to find a path around, go around through like a different street and come into the graveyard from a different side from then. So I could sort of stand outside of it and wait for them to leave.
Yep.
Once they've done that, I'll go to a different grave. Not one of the ones that they've been to. I'll go to a different grave.
Yep.
Do I... Well, I suppose I wouldn't know if these graves are shallow dug or not. But, sort of, using my hands and whatnot, sort of starting to dig through, do I get the impression that they're, like, properly dug out graves, or do I get the impression they're shallow?
You get the impression that because of the Curse of Darafel, death rituals are very important to these people, and they've dug a full 6 feet for each grave.
Okay, so I get the feeling that they are about sort of say that your standard 6 foot grave.
About standard 6 foot grave, yeah.
Okay, then I stand above the grave. I sort of like open up a little bit of a hole, and I reopen that wound on my hand.
Yep.
And this time I just like squeeze my palm and let the blood drip down onto the soil. And targeting the bones that would be in this grave, I cast Animate Dead because it has a range of 10 feet.
Okay.
So I have no idea what the corpse is inside it, but assuming it's either, a mostly decayed corpse or bones, so whichever it is, it'll either be a skeleton if it's bones or a zombie if it's a decaying corpse that will essentially then come up out of the ground.
This is a skeleton.
Mm-hmm.
And you cast this spell, and the skeleton pulls itself out of the grave and stands in front of you. You can see that there are there's the remnant of magics that have been used on this corpse, and the skeleton actually the skeleton says, "Who are you?"
I am the one that has made your death have purpose. I am the one that has given you a second chance to fight for your world.
But I don't want to fight.
Hush. And I place my bloodied palm on the side of the skull to leave my bloodied handprint. And I say, it no longer matters what you want. Come. And as with the Animate Dead, any command I give to it, it follows.
Yep.
I mean, assuming unless there's any magical effects that would counteract that. But just based off of the Animate Dead, once I've done that, it's under my control for 24 hours. Yeah.
So you leave this handprint. You see a skeleton fingers reach for where the blood mark is. Empty eye sockets regard the hand, and then the hand touches your face, and you see a vision. You stand at a threshold. You can tell there's something in your periphery, something above you and around you, just behind your sight that you can't see. Your vision is fixed, and in front of you is a garden path. Beautiful trees and water of a stream flowing on your left side. And you can see figures start to walk down the garden path. And this voice of the skeleton in your mind just says, this is where we go when we're done. This is where we go to be at peace. And you see that one of the figures who is walking away turns, and you can see half of your mother's face. And the man puts his arm around her, and that's your father. Put his arm around her and walks away from you. And this voice goes,
Before he can even finish the sentence, I use the blindfold to block off the telepathic communication.
You use the blindfold to block off telepathic communication, and you are back in your own body. There's a skeleton with its hand at your face.
I immediately say to it, I say, your sorcery from life seems to have followed you through, or perhaps it is your gods trying to make a message, but It's a good illusion. I will give you. I will give you that. Now, I do believe I said to come along.
You start to walk. The skeleton doesn't move an inch. As you turn back, you see that this skeleton, no magic animates it any longer, and it stands with its hand out where it was touching your cheek.
So it's no longer under the effects of animate dead.
It's no longer under the effects of animate dead.
Haha.
That can only have come from a girlfriend.
All that was missing was that. And
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to play evil characters around her.
Listen, even your good characters are kind of shitty.
Isn't it funny though, in the world of like Dungeons and Dragons, that like stuff like that is still like taboo, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I played an evil character once, and never again will I do. No.
You can tell that the reason your animate dead has not worked on this corpse, or only temporarily worked on this corpse, is because of the rituals that were used in their burial.
Okay.
It seems to be something these people do because of the ambient curse of Derfo, which is an ambient necromantic curse, which brings back any person who dies without a ritual burial.
Okay. Then, as I've sort of taken a couple steps away and then have sort of looked over my shoulder and noticed that the skeleton's no longer is no longer animated, I sort of give a sigh and shake my head and just say, "Huh. Even in undeath, the people from this land are nigh unto useless," and I cast Word of Radiance and just say, "Return to where you came from," and just use Word of Radiance to essentially like scatter the bones.
The bones scatter, and the body has been unearthed, but the soul remains at peace.
Okay, and then I return to the ship for now.
You return. Alistair goes, "Alice Fane, we were gonna take off without you. Come on here. Don't be so late. Don't be so tardy. Come on." To get you onto the ship and take off. And you guys are on your way with a crowd of children in tow. On the
I'll be playing them, teaching them tricks with their knives.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'll be letting them. They'll be riding Bessie round and round and things like that as well.
Yeah, and in fact, I'll let them. I'll get down on my back and let them sit on me and.
So for sure.
So we can have like mini jousting competitions.
Yeah.
Back and one on Bessie.
Yeah.
As this was all going on, I just kind of go, what harm could it do? Fine steed.
Fine steed.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's this beautiful white horse laden with a golden armor, very regal.
Amazing.
I'll give one of the kids the lightning lance.
Immediately, chaos erupts on the ship. There are children playing with knives and practicing throwing knives. There's one child with an electric javelin, their hair standing up.
Yeah.
On
I'll sit back with Thano and I'll say, "Feels good to be home."
Thano.
Yeah.
If we rig something up, how about we have some target practice and maybe teach some of these kids how to use hand crossbows?
Oh yeah.
Because then they don't even need to get close enough to use the daggers. Then do they? They
can use me as a target.
No, what? I think you can just help make sure they cause any trouble.
They're never gonna hit me. I'll be alright.
How have you come with that bag thing you were talking about, holding the bolts? Is that working yet?
Give it a few more days. We'll work on it. I'll get something sorted. Don't you worry about that.
But yeah, let's set up a target and teach these kids how to use them.
Definitely.
Little jousting tournament, little crossbow bolt thing. Dust looks worried. Dust looks as like, oh my god, and then Alistair just puts a hand on his shoulder and goes, this is the way it should be.
Yeah.
You gotta teach him early.
So I agree with you, Riordan. So I said that from the beginning.
I come over and I say, let's embrace it. Let's embrace it.
This is... she'd be turning in her grave, but she'd love it.
If anything happens,
Better they can protect themselves, the easier their life will be.
I agree.
Yeah, that's the what's it way.
And they'll go, that's the what's it way.
What's it way? What's it way? What's it way?
What's it way? And you guys sail off into the night, and we are going to have a little fade to black. And we're going to cut to you guys. It's been a day's worth of sailing, and you make it to Skarsgård. This, from above, you can see that this town, this has been described to you multiple times as a city. You can see that this is definitely a lot larger than Balmoral, but by Sygalian standards, this is very small to be considered a city. It's very few buildings of stone and then a lot of wood. Seems to be, it feels kind of like some of the slums of other more prosperous cities that you guys would be from. Garanseal, would have a poorer quarter, which is kind of similar to this. It's not dirty or like full of crime, but it's definitely poor. You can see that it is settled right on the edge of this enormous fissure in the land. This is the southern scar that goes, that is just it looks like several miles wide and goes down so deep that it's darkness at the bottom. And this city is been built right on the edge. And you are able, the ship is able to decloak, and you guys land. And when you land, Alistair goes, right, welcome aboard, my good friend, and the man who's gonna get us what we need. Ralph, thank you so much for all of your patience this episode.
Definitely.
All the stuff that's been going on. Would you like to introduce your character and your unit for me, please?
Sweet, gladly. So, on board steps a very tall man, about 6'1", very, very athletic build. So he's not like huge, but you can tell that he's very strong. Really square jaw. Probably looks like he's in his mid-30s, but could tell that he's been through a lot. Dark, short hair, wearing full plate armor. But this black plate armor is decorated with skulls and just everything that would represent, battle with anything that may be demonic. And these are all trophies of war and battle. And he has a very battle-torn black cape. And with him, he carries a massive sword. It's fucking huge. Oh, sorry, it is huge. Sorry, and he steps on board, and he's just got a very mighty presence about him. And on board with him is a motley crew of, in our time, is what you call Marines or grunts, but it's a task force that come on board. All different characters, like any kind of Marine unit. there's going to be bantering between them, and all very, very serious. So yeah, Gustav steps on board and quickly makes his way over to Armstrong, and grabs his hand and pulls him in and hugs him very tightly, and says, "Armstrong," and then grabs his shoulders and says, "Word's just coming about Balmoral." And then, "Sophia, did she?" And then waiting for his reply.
They nailed her to the damn wall. Gustav.
See Gustav's face just absolutely just go stone cold, and he's utterly speechless, and he just mutters out, "God damn it. When will this stop? When will this stop?"
When I give you my word. Hello, Gustav. I watched it. I give you my word.
These two men who have each other in each other's arms.
I'm gonna stick this very point. Yeah. Hello, this very pointy stick somewhere very painful at the person who done that. I like Sophia.
Armstrong, you said that you had a unit for me. Who's these guys?
These lot are. He gets some of his bravado back. He goes, right. These lot are very low on discipline, but very high on carnage capacity.
Alistair, please watch your mouth. Some people do have discipline.
With the exception of our good friend Ryadon over here.
We're the special forces.
Gustav takes a look at all of you, and I get a first impression. He looks past that and sees that you've actually all been through hell, and he's got like an excellent eye of judgment, and he can see that people have dealt with death and have fought, and he's that first impression just goes away instantly, that he thought of these guys could be just chumps, and he's gone, "No, I've seen that you've been through hell, and you better get used to it, because you're going to see a lot more of it."
He's talking, yeah, I like it.
He then introduces himself and says, "My name is First Lieutenant Gustav, Commanding Officer of the Hellhound Raiders of Skarsgård, Special Task Force Unit."
Are you the Lost Army?
No,
we're looking for them.
All right, so
no, he's going to help us find the Lost
Army. Right, that will no longer be the Lost Army afterwards. Got ya.
Does that make him the Found Army?
Yeah, I said that earlier.
Gustav, let's go to the war room and draw up a plan.
Let's debrief.
All right, everybody, let's go. And you guys go to. You guys go in to some of the quarters, and the people who are here are this space is crowded. There's the group of Sygalians. There's Ralf. I'm going to say of your group, Quintus is going to be with you. But the others are waiting outside. They'll follow you literally to hell and back. They have done so many times. So one of them's there. Dust is in there with you all. And Willow is in there as well. And Alistair goes, "Right, Gustav. Everybody, what we need is a Gammath orb. This orb is what has been perpetuating the curse of Darafel while Darafel's been in prison. It's an incredibly powerful artifact, and if we get our hands on it, we are going to be able to... it is... Let me just explain. It has the capacity to absorb a truly staggering amount of power. If we get this, we can use it to shut down the source that keeps Ward Elkar afloat. And without source, the prison of Pelor will no longer function and he will be free. But we've got a problem. It's in the hands of Garazan. Garazan was the lieutenant of Darafel back 20 years ago during the war. And when the war ended, he took his people and he went to ground in the northern half of the Scar down here. And nobody has been able to find him in the labyrinth of tunnels on either side of the Scar ever since. We need to change that. We gotta go in, we've gotta face off against one of the most evil beings that has ever existed. Grab the Orb of Ganath and get out. Gustav, how, I know your group have been looking for, you've been looking for their base of operations for a long time. Have you narrowed it down at all?
We seem to have come down to 3 locations where we think that the orb may be. The problem is that it's riddled with undead, and unfortunately me and my men are not too good at taking out the undead.
I raise my hand up and go, I am.
Mate, I could do that.
These folks might be able to help you out there.
Unless
a good fight, don't we?
Unless Fenn's really good at getting them up and making them move and dance and.
There's been quiet times recently. There's quite a lot of demon activity up until about a month ago, and it's gone very quiet, very, very quiet, which does trouble me because this seems like this could be the calm before the storm, and we need to strike before we get struck.
Let's go.
So let's go.
We need a plan of operation. Obviously, there are 3 sites. If this really is the calm before the storm, we don't want to be wasting any time. If we can hit all 3 sites at once, that'll be the best thing, I think. Unfortunately, Willow, we need to leave a certain number of people here with the kids to keep the ship and the children safe. Willow, how many people do you need? And Willow is so unused to being at the table with the important people. Her kind of teenage bravado has broken just a little bit, but she rallies and she says, I can't look after everybody on my own, obviously, but between me and Asme Rose, and I suppose Hans, if Hans could stay, that'll leave you, Captain, and that'll leave Dust. You guys will be free to join in the fighting. And she looks at Nezumi, and she says, you have a special relationship with Caleb and the children. I know that they would love to. They would love your company. I don't know if you're planning on going with all of these guys, but the choice is yours. I could do with the help around here.
Well, what about Pelor?
Yeah, that. Well, we'll be fine. You go ahead. You go with these other guys. But just Caleb's gonna miss you. That's all.
I look down at Caleb.
Caleb's not in the room, but
I think about Caleb.
Sure? You think about Caleb.
Think about his sad face.
You hear a little voice beside the door. That's me. I'm gonna miss you. And all my friends. Oh, we'll deal with that later. So, Alistair says, I'm not back up to full capacity yet. Gustav, guess what? I tangled with friggin' Erua.
God damn. Well, it looks like you came out okay.
I did not. I'm very badly hurt. but it was fun. It's been a while since I got a chance to stretch my legs. But Dust and I can take one of those locations. We can take one on our own. Dust here is one of the strongest fighters in the entire world.
He's the strongest fighter in the world.
All right. Someone's got an ego.
Dust is like it's Alistair is one of the strongest mages, and I'm one of the strongest physical combatants. It's one of those things he likes to bring it up. I don't know.
It's once we're past the undead, I'm pretty sure that we can pinpoint the location more accurately.
So you guys have a map in front of you, and you can see unmarked on the usual Vulpicarian map, but you can see 3 locations. One of them is, 2 of them are near the abandoned city of Felgora, and one of them is on the opposite side of the Scar. And Dust and Alistair say, which one are you guys going to go to, and which one are we going to take?
Which one's got, most of the bad people in it?
Gustav, gut intuition. Do you want to roll me insight?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, go on
then. Not very good.
19.
22.
5.
5 from Gustav.
Roll! First roll! 5, mate.
First roll, 5!
Stars, you mean to go on?
22 from what's it? What'd you get, Thano?
I got 19.
19. You, everybody, even Gustav, points at one of the 2 on the side of that Felgora is on. The reason being, logically, even with a 5, you would know that for everybody else, Felgora was the capital when Darafel, from which Darafel ruled before he was captured. It was abandoned by Garazan, his lieutenant, after the war, and there were several attempts made to take it back and resettle it, but every time the forces of Garazan would appear randomly out of nowhere, kill everybody in the city, and then retreat back. So they've been keeping Felgora empty, basically. So it makes more logical sense that they would be under Felgora, the city, somewhere in these labyrinthine tunnels. So Dust and Alistair are going to take one of the locations, and you guys will take the other location. And they're like, right. The other thing is, we're in a skyship. It's a long way to Felgora from here. We're gonna have 2 days worth of flying. Gustav, these folks need some training, I think. Everybody, we're gonna run through some drills. Get everybody in tip-top shape for this fight. So you guys are on board. You have a battle plan. You are the ship. Before you take off, Alistair turns to Gustav and says, "How's Patiri doing?"
Well, Patiri seems to be having her problems as usual. She's still fighting for the city, trying to do her best, but I haven't spoken to her in a while. But yeah, she's doing everything she can right now.
It's it's good to remember that there are some of the Grey Orthodoxy who are still on side. I have to tell you, based on what these guys have told us, assuming that you guys have told them about Breniel and the fighting and all this stuff. He's saying, it sounds. You remember the stories? You've heard the stories I know about Henua, the war hero in the north.
Yeah, I don't like Henua.
No.
I want her.
Yeah, she's gonna get most of my pokey stick.
From all accounts, it appears that she's done a soft coup of the Orthodoxy. If Brenial, who's in charge of Ward Elkar in that area, and of the same rank as her, is fighting against her, the unrest in the Orthodoxy, combined with the extra workload from Sygalians being here, must be why Patiri's not getting any support, any funding. So things aren't looking great on that front.
Gotten even more, as it were. Left out on our own down here.
That's the way of it. That's the way it always was, though, eh?
Hey, it's the best way. It's the best way. It's the what's it way.
Not always.
It is most of the time.
Alistair looks at Nezumi and says, if you're coming, how... There's another city. There's a parallel city with Skarsgård that's down in the Scar, called Kelipke. It's mostly a Dreltar city, but there are many clans of rat folk who are down there. They have been defending their home for a long time, and if we're going to be doing the final push, maybe you can convince them to give us some backup.
I mean, I'm just a stranger to them.
The rat folk on Volpakar have a intimate idea of family. You won't be a stranger in their eyes.
What about the kids?
Well, you're gonna be coming with us. We'll step off the ship. It won't be a very long excursion. It'll just be talk to one of their leaders.
I can try, but I can't say I'll do anything.
Just one little thing though, Nezumi.
Yes?
You're coming from another world to come and save theirs. I think that might go in your favour. Because somebody going out of their way, somebody going out of their way to save their world somewhere you don't live, I think will probably help that.
Nezumi, I'll come with you. I'm happy to.
Okay.
You three, Alistair, Nezumi, and Rhydon, he nods to you, the three of you guys. He says, right, you guys start heading out. Start heading over to Felgora. We are going to take a very swift trip to Kelipke.
Then we'll be coming back?
And then we'll return to the ship. Yeah. You guys go out on deck.
Sorry to interrupt. One little thing I'm going to say to him, right? Before you drop the children off, I have a gift for both yourself and Willow.
Oh no! There's nowhere that's safer than the ship for the kids. So
but I'm just saying, before we head off anywhere else, before we leave the ship, I have a gift that the last few days I've been working on, one for each of you. One will go to wherever they decide the new orphanage will be, because I think it will be important to Willow and the others there, and one for yourself. And I'm going to pull out two music boxes, and inlaid in the music boxes are images of your sister, like his sister, so that when you wind them up, it plays a very, very. One of them will play like a lullaby for the orphans, and the other one will play like a ballad almost. And when he taps them, or she taps them, there will be projected a 3D image of his sister on each one. so that he can keep one on the ship and give one to the orphanage.
They both just burst into tears.
She was important, not just to us, but to everybody. And I think somebody like that should never be forgotten. And while they're in your memory and your mind, they never will be.
Dalton, this is a beautiful gift.
Thank you. Family and friends do, isn't it?
Pulls you into a hug.
What's it? It's cuddle time!
Cuddle time!
Boom, boom, boom!
But I think that you should give it to Willow. I think she'd like it.
Willow's there, and Willow.
Okay, well, there you go. Excellent.
Yeah, Willow joins in the hug and just thanks you up and down. Goes, this means more than you can know. Thank you so much.
Hey, it's the least we can do. It's the least we can do.
Very, very grateful indeed.
You're more than welcome.
Right. Gosh. Oh, that hurts my heart so much. All right, here we go. The meeting adjourns. You guys are all ready. Gustav, you can take people up to start. So I'll go through what training means for everybody in a minute, but we'll do a little aside first. He's down to 3 levels of exhaustion, but he has his eyes glow blue. Ryadon and Nezumi, you each have a flying speed of 30, thanks to his ability. And he himself lifts off the deck and he goes, right, we'll catch up with you all. See you in a minute. And you guys jump off and fly down, and you can see as you go down past the lip of the surface and down further and further, light becoming this smaller and smaller. It looks like a scar, like a tear above you, and everything else is blackness. And then below you, you start to see warm glows of fires, and you can see that there is a city that has been built almost vertically, stacked like stories into the side of this scar. And this is Kelebke, and this is huge and impressive. It's it's buildings crafted out of living rock and natural and pre-made tunnels and enormous cavernous spaces where they're almost amphitheater-like, where people are gathered. But you can, so you kind of go until you're down in the middle of this, and you can kind of see the entirety of this
Alistair.
Place. Yep.
Did we find a way of contacting Sygalia?
We haven't. Well, there are those rings that your friends have, but we haven't found a way of modifying them yet to get the word back over there yet. No.
Okay. When you do find word, let me know. I need a conversation with you.
Well, as soon as possible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Righto. You guys alight on basically like a pier that goes out a little ways, and there are some of these Dreltar civilians, or at least in more civilian clothing, non-combatants is what I mean to say, who greet you. They again have these flat heads, no eyes, dark skin. They taste the air, and one of them says, Alistair, what a pleasant surprise it is to see you here. Pardon the expression. Welcome. I can... Oh no. Oh, I'm so sorry. He goes, Irela. Yeah, she's gone. And she embraces him. And he says, we need to talk to we need to talk to Taringa, the leader of the rat folk down here. If we could have a brief word with you both, that would be great. She goes, yes, of course, I will. And she, you see that she goes still for a second, and then she's been called. So you guys make your way into a very warm, cozy environment, and an old rat folk woman with little wisps of white in their fur and a wooden staff comes in, hunched over, even shorter than Nezumi is. And she goes,
it's one of our long-lost sisters. Come here, you.
And she grabs you and plants a kiss on both your cheeks and pinches your cheek really painfully, like an aunt at Thanksgiving.
She goes, well, what is it that I can do for all of you?
Well, maybe you could listen to our friends here about what they have to say.
Well, anyone who's a friend of the people is a friend to the people, as it were.
Yes, of course. The people.
I take a couple of steps forward. I bow and I say, thank you for your hospitality and for greeting us. Unfortunately, dire times brings us to your doorstep, and we require an army of any description that you have. If you have warriors, now is the time.
You walk them through what the situation. I'm gonna need everyone to roll persuasion. Nezumi, you can roll with advantage because you are of the people.
Okie dokie.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I got a nat 20 plus 5.
You're not
I got
there.
a 19.
Yeah, we're not there.
You guys aren't there, but a nat 20 is great.
Oh, boo.
I got a nat 20.
You got a natural 20?
And I got plus 10 to persuasion.
You got a 30. Holy moly.
Yeah.
I'm just checking. Yeah. Alistair got very high as well.
I got a 19.
19 is great. And you explain the situation. You explain that, this has been the calm before the storm. Something probably very bad is coming. And if you can do this now, this is the time. And these two look at each other and converse, and then look back at you and say, the Irela says, our forces are less than helpful against the undead, as it were, but with the rat folk taking out the undead, we will be able to do a lot of damage to the demons and the fiends who are part of Garazan's army. Our army is nothing compared to the old days, of course. We've been beaten down for a long time, but those we can spare. We will get them ready, and we will move them towards Felgora. And they'll be there as soon as we can. So you guys have these, and this little rat folk lady goes,
Lost daughter, the one over there in the gold, he's a good looking one. keep her around. Nice eye candy. She's been talking to you this whole time, like so familiar, like so overly intimate with you. Like no personal space. She smells like musty and like old cotton balls. Alistair, you gotta come down more often and party like we used to. Yeah. Party animal.
We love her.
This is strange, awkward woman. And you know that rat folk mature very quickly, and have, especially it seems here, they have a shorter lifespan than even Sygalian rat folk, which is a big deal. So this woman's probably like 45 and looks ancient. So it's like, I'm not even that much younger than you, Alistair. Boogie. Anywho, you haven't got any people immediately going with you, but these people have gathered and they are going to be marching on Felgora. More pleasantries, say your farewells, extending official greetings from, I assume, from Garandia and Sygalia as well.
Yeah. If I was to ever come here again, I'm happy to accept the hospitality again.
Oh, you can come anytime you want. And Irela says, I can sense a pure spirit in you and a dedicated mind. You're welcome anytime.
I bow and I press forward.
The three of you exit the city of Calibke and fly back to the ship. So, training. We talked a little bit about people having the chance to train ability scores or towards feats and what have you before. So this basically, you've had a little bit of time going to Balmoral and then to Skarsgård, and now you've got a bit of time before Felgora to get some training underway. What that looks like, you can let me know. I've got some stuff here that are some things that are offered. Obviously, Esme Rose is more than happy to help with any tinkering stuff that you want to try out, Tolton. The one called Hands it says to all of you that she can help train. What did I write for? She can help train any rogues or people who want to be better at one-on-one fighting. Dust can help anybody to train their dexterity. And again, just like general combat stuff.
Yeah, I'll do some training then.
Training, and basically, if you guys set a goal for yourself and then describe what you would like to be doing to train towards that, towards those goals, you can improve scores, or you can get a feat before you get to Felgora.
Another feat.
Juicy.
Juicy.
Very nice.
You're
gonna have to sweat for it though. You're gonna have to
sweat
work
for
hard.
it. This is assumed to be like everything you're doing for this time, essentially. And yeah, the idea being these people are like, we're going into a war zone. We're going into a very, very challenging fight. And everybody needs to be as strong as possible.
So I'll train for the luck feat. No, I'm just kidding.
But if you guys want to have a think about what that is, then we can come back to that for next session.
Yeah, cool.
But there are people around who are willing to train. Hands goes up to Gustav and says, "It's been a while since you and I had a bout. Would you care to?" Okay.
Hans, you still surprise me. And then he just sort of pulls out this big sword.
You take out this big sword. The chains unwrap from her hands, and she's holding these chain blades. And she goes, "I think you will find that I have a couple extra tricks up my sleeve from last time we did this." And you two go at it. Go ahead and roll me for fun. I'm gonna put on some fun little piratey music. Go ahead and roll me a perception check. And you know her style, so you do it with advantage.
Oh, great. Yeah, let's go with 17.
17 is good. She throws one of her blades with a chain attached towards you. You see it coming, and you know that it's not going to be coming from the place that you think it is. You do a quick little look around. You see the chain bend in midair, the blade whip around, and you bring your sword up and catch the blade where it would have hit you, back of your head. There's this cool trick that she could do where she can like manipulate these blades and the chains and stuff. And then, so you see it coming, and she goes, "I thought that would get you."
No. Not Gustav. Not for me.
And you guys kind of go at it. She tries to keep a distance away from you as much as possible, and you're swinging this giant sword around.
Can I secretly cast something, or try and attempt to secretly cast something?
For sure.
I'm gonna secretly try and cast. I think. Hang on, I'm trying to find it. I think I've got it. I'm gonna try and cast magic weapon on Gustav's sword.
Okay, read to me what it does.
Actually, no, I won't do it. I won't do that. I'll cast bless on him instead because I haven't got to touch him then.
There you go.
Yeah. You want to touch me?
I want to touch you. I want to touch you. I want to touch you.
Come on, bro.
Come on. So I just bless.
And Gustav,
or if I would do it as part of a chant, I'll say Gustav, 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 like that, and cast bless.
The children form factions. Some of them want Gustav to win. Some of them want.
Sorry, I missed the second. These two are fighting, are they?
They're having a bout.
Them out?
Yeah, and Gustav is cheating to help out
Okay.
Gustav. Yeah. This little yeah. They're doing a.
So Gustav gets an additional D4 to attack rolls and saving throws.
While you're doing that, I'm just going to look over and go, I think that you might benefit from maybe an enhanced ability or two. And I pull out my tools and you see me messing around, and I just hand out towards Gustav a couple of what look like trinkets almost. And as you hold them, as you touch them, they literally run up your arms. And attach themselves to your armor. And when you do this, you gain 2d6 temporary hit points. And you have an advantage on constitution checks as well.
Oh,
I don't know what Gustav would think of this, to be honest. He would be quite offended, really, if he knew that you were doing this.
That's why I've done it in secret.
Yeah, suddenly you feel healthier.
You got hit with divine bless and with technological boost to your abilities at the same time. Go ahead and roll perception to see if you notice that this has happened to you.
Do I need to do a sleight of hand or anything?
Yeah,
you won't need to do a sleight of hand, mate. I've rolled awful. 6.
6.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys don't need to roll. Gustav, it's been a while since you've been in the company of these guys. Some of these guys that you fought with during the war, during the Sundering War. It feels good to be back on the Alacrity, and back with Alistair and the crew. And you go about this fight. I'm not going to go through the entirety of the fight, but just roll me an attack. See how.
Add a D4.
And add a D4.
Yes, that's 20. Yeah, 20 to hit. Not natural though.
20 to hit.
Is that with your D4?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. As you guys fight, you become like a blur. You take some of the attacks on your armor, and they glance off. You knock away some of her blades on her sword. Around her becomes like this whirling tornado of blades on chains, and the chains randomly will like switch direction, and blades will whip around in different directions and things. But you manage to make your way through this typhoon of whirling chain, and you land. Keep your sword just an inch away from her, but you land a blow, and everyone claps and it's like, Gustav, well done.
Yes, bruv.
It looks like you had grumps with you.
You keep telling yourself.
Grumps.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
No, I'm going to do a different bit, so you go ahead.
No, it's fine. That's ended up nicely. I think that explains everything. So yeah.
Lovely jubbly.
Okay.
There are 2 little bits. One bit is that Nezumi, if you can make me a perception with advantage.
Unnatural 20.
Beautiful. You remember that there's a little elf girl who's very attached to Caleb. Her name is Andra, and you notice everybody's gathered around to watch this bout on the deck of the ship. This little girl has hung back from everyone else, and is on her own, standing, just sitting on one of the steps that would go up to the to where the helm is, sitting on her own.
I go up to her.
You go up to her, and she goes, "Hi."
I hand her my tail.
She grabs your tail and holds it very close.
I start walking towards everyone else, like very slowly, like sort of dragging her with my tail.
She holds on for a second, and then she goes, "Nezumi, can I ask you something?"
Yes?
I don't know what to do.
About what?
This girl's she's like 7 years old. She goes, I'm not like everyone else. Like all of my friends.
What do you mean?
I'm not actually an orphan. My mom is over there, and she's dueling right now, and nobody knows that she's my mom, and she doesn't even know that I know. And I'm afraid that if people know, that they'll treat me differently, and I don't know what to say to her. I've only seen her a couple of times. We've never been on a boat together. Should I talk to her?
Well, the way I see it, no one here is an orphan, because you're all a big family. As for your real mom, I think you should do what makes you feel better.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't know what it's like to have a mom, besides Sophia.
Real moms are overrated. Who should be your mom is the one who treats you best.
Thanks, Nezumi. That's really sweet.
The rat mom now.
Could you be my rat mom?
Okay.
Will you come with me? I'd like to introduce myself.
Can hold on to my tail for emotional support.
Thanks, rat mom. The bout's over. You guys go over to Hands, and this little girl starts talking to her real mom, and it looks like the older elf is very awkward. Knows obviously this is her kid, and for whatever reasons of her own, left her in the orphanage. They exchange a few words, and then the woman says, Nezumi, right? I have a few things to explain to Andra. Thanks for being there for her. If we could have a moment just to ourselves, I'd appreciate that.
I look down at Andra, just be like, to get her permission, I guess.
Yeah, she looks at you, and you can tell that she's very grateful that you looked to her before you said yes. But she squeezes your tail and goes, as long as you're nearby, this will be fine.
Okay, I nod, and then
I'll be over there.
And I just sort of walk to some sort of like far enough away, but still kind of close by, so that she can still see me if she needs to.
And as she talks to her mom, that's exactly what she does. She keeps looking to you and giving you a little smile, and as the conversation goes, a little thumbs up or a little like if it gets awkward. Yeah, very grateful that you've done that for her. The other thing that happens next is Caleb. Caleb is going to come up to Thano and to Tolton and see who's around. And he says, I've been looking around, and I can't find my friend, the surgeon.
Orcs.
We couldn't find him either. Rumor has it something happened to him and he was involved in a little bit of an accident. But We will do everything we can to find out exactly what happened and hopefully find him too.
So he's not
with us at the moment.
He's not gone like Sophia's gone.
At the moment, I don't know. I'm not going to lie, I don't know.
Okay.
Meanwhile,
I hope he's okay.
I'm sure wherever he is, he will be doing just fine.
Okay.
Have you
All
still
right.
got that gift?
He pulls it out and
Excellent. So just remember, people are never forgotten. And I'll remind him of the other gift that will be staying at whatever orphanage he goes to. It will be there. That Willow has.
He
say,
says,
She'll never
Willow
be forgotten.
Willow showed me, and that it's really sad that she's gone, but it's really good that we're never going to forget her.
You would never forget her anyway.
No. Never ever.
Definitely not. Besides, you've got these funny green people here to help as well. And I'm going to pat Fano on the back as best I can.
I'm going to rub him on the head.
Now that everyone's together, do you think things are going to get better?
We'll do everything we can to make them better for everybody.
Okay.
As a promise.
Okay.
I don't know how long it'll take, but we'll do everything we can.
He nods.
And if you like these gadgets and toys and things, maybe we can sit down with a few of the others and we can practice and see if we can make things together.
I think everyone would really like that.
Excellent.
And you guys, with all of the bittersweet deaths behind you and conflict looming on the horizon, have found a place. There's a roar of laughter that goes up, and Caleb runs off and joins his friends as once again little tournaments have started amongst the children and little games, and people have started to train. The Hellhound Raiders are going through their drills. Gustav and Alistair and Dust get a long-awaited beer together for the first time in a long time. These war veterans together. And that is where we're going to call it for this session.
Oh,
excellent.
Sick, bruv.
Awesome.
Ooh.
Excellent. It's good.
Definitely.
Cracking job, Josh. It's intense as well.
Super
Cracking
was.
job.
And again, thank you so much for coming on as our guest, Ralph, and for being so patient. It took a little bit longer to get to your character than
mate.
I thought it would, but there were some things that needed to.
Yeah, absolutely. Like,
Sure.
honored to be here. So it's real nice playing with all of you, and I'm looking forward to doing some big combat and stuff later on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're gonna basically just be straight into combat going into the next session.
That's cool. That was really great. But thank you for everyone for watching as well.
Definitely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Hope you enjoyed. Thanks to all of you for playing such a great game, and Mark for doing that, for feeling able to do evil character stuff.
Yes.
It's brilliant.
Someone's got to do it.
It's.
I'm sorry. I would have been like joining you, but
the evil GM killed you off.
Because that's something that is really hard to do. Actually, within a party, when a whole party is not doing that, to actually go against it, it is really hard, Mark. So I got enough respect for you for that.
And don't take the NPC and world reactions to be dismissal of what you're doing.
Oh, no.
It's brilliant.
Not at all. No. It always makes it harder to play. Like Neil said, it always makes it harder to play. An evil aligned character, especially a chaotically evil aligned character whose whole thing is basically his entire personality is frowned upon by the people that he's traveling with. It's interesting.
That's what you love, though, isn't it? That's what you love.
Well, yeah. I love a bit of a challenge. Yeah.
But that's the problem with being a good guy, a Mr. Nice Guy, wonderful. Everybody should be on the same hymn sheet, known. Because as far as I'm concerned, we're a family and we need to look out for each other.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
But so, someone.
And
has
while
to
you're
play
going
the evil
shiv, and then turn around and go, "What, me? No." One of them would go, "No, you leave him alone. What's wrong with you? He's helping us. How dare you?"
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Great.
We did think that earlier, though. Some dialogue between Jim and Mark got really hot earlier, though, didn't it? Do you know what I mean? We're gonna have some fan art about that.
We need some fan art about that.
We do. Fan art of any kind for this would be amazing.
No, we do not. I don't want to see any of that.
Fair enough.
You're the resident artist.
Nope.
Well, a prize to anybody who wants to do that fan art, and we will indeed make sure that there is a prize.
Yeah.
Once again, you have an hour and a half to submit an NPC.
Yes.
So there's still time. Go ahead and shoot that off, and we will pick a winner in the next couple of days. Yeah. Thanks to everybody who helped us get to 100 subscribers and helped us see Neil in a dress and green face.
All where that comes from.
Amazing.
Well, next time when we're post-plague, I'll be able to get a proper dress. My wife did offer to lend me her wedding corset, but because I was green, she said no.
Bang out of order, man. Bang out of order.
I do.
Next time, no green face, but we're wearing a corset.
Yeah, as it goes.
We're trying to encourage subscribers, not put them off.
But I got a feeling, though, Neil, I bet it took very little convincing, didn't it?
For me to do it.
Yeah.
I offered to do it.
It was his idea.
What actually happened?
Maybe 200 should be that so they nominate who does it.
Ralf, that's the least I've done on stage, mate. That's the least I've done.
Neil was like to everybody, like, look, I really want to role play wearing a dress and all that. And everybody's like, oh, Christ, we can't let this happen. Just say it's for like 100 subscribers or something. Play it in quick.
It's never a problem.
Nah, do good, man. I'm proud of you.
Just again, thank you for everyone else reiterating what we said earlier. Black Lives Matter massively.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And don't let all the haters out there when we're giving you a different rhetoric. All lives matter, but sometimes when the house is on fire, you need to deal with the things that are most important in that moment.
Like, the best analogy I've heard about it, right, is that, like, if it's somebody's birthday, you then don't start singing like, oh, it's my birthday as well next month. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Everyone's got a birthday, but like right now it's not about you.
Absolutely.
It's about that person right there and then.
Yeah.
That's what we've got to deal with,
Yeah. I completely see it. We've all seen it. I'm in a multiracial relationship with my wife. I didn't make that sense, but you know what I meant. And she's seen racism both in her job and in her personal life, and I can see it, and it's out there.
Yep.
Stamp out the hate.
Yeah, it's garbage. I hate racism.
Garbage.
Get out.
Get out. Stay safe, everyone.
Stay safe.
Yeah.
If you're protesting, fantastic. But otherwise, distancing.
Yeah. Let's be sensible about those protests, though.
Yeah. Do be sensible. Do be sensible.
Not just about the social distancing and everything else, but just in general, because there's enough things that are, go wrong, and there's enough waste that we see every day, and there's enough impact on everybody else at the moment.
Yeah.
The last thing you want to do is make it worse. So I've got, by all means, definitely go out there. Everybody's got, freedom of speech, and everybody should be willing to stand up for what they believe in and everything else. Completely agree with that.
Use the fuel,
but just do it in the right way. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely. That's all. Use the anger in the right way.
Be safe and live to fight another day.
Nicely put. Okay. No, everybody.
Alrighty. Thanks so much.
Night, everyone.
Take care.
Thanks again.
We'll see you again
Bye.
next week.
Arrivederci.